go on college football Thursday night for the 99th time. Mississippi State beats Ole Miss in what they call down here the Egg Bowl. It's very simple. Ole Miss win, they go to a bowl game. If they lose, their season's over. One of the coldest nights of the year in the Magnolia State. The temperature will stay in the 30s right throughout. May dip into the 20s before all is said and done. The coaches, Jackie Sherrill, rumors about this being his last game. He told us this week he's going to be back for a 13th season. This is year 4 for David Cutcliffe in the Egg Bowl rivalry. He's trying to avoid a first losing season and get to a 3rd bowl game in his Ole Miss tenure. Mississippi State's wearing white tonight. Ole Miss in the home blue. That one patch of empty stands is going to be filled in by the band. It is a near sellout here on Thanksgiving night. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch. Food, family, friends, football. Gets no better.
Sounds good to me.
Life is good.
Game 3 for many of you. The Lions and Cowboys lost at home. What will happen to the Ole Miss Rebels in a must-win tonight? They kick off through the back of the end zone for a touchback. It'll be at the 20. Cowboys won.
Yeah, Cowboys won. Nice. Came back.
It's a heck of a start for me, huh? Where's the apple pie? Let's just get to the dessert. The quarterback from Mississippi State is Kevin Fant. He's been in this rivalry twice before. He starts his 3rd Egg Bowl. He won 2 state high school titles and won this ball game last year. Handling the ball behind him. Fred Reed is a young back. Justin Griffith is a senior. You're going to see a lot of him. Bivens starts as Grindle is injured. The senior has an ankle injury. Justin Jenkins, the other receiver. Final game for the tight end, Donald Lee. 20 catches on this season. Griffith's the lone back for first down, and immediately we have flags to get things going. Steve Shaw leads the SEC crew. One of the better officials in this conference.
Dead ball. False start. On the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The ever-present Jackie Sherrill note card, which has had plenty of entries this year. It's a Mississippi State team that's been penalized 7 times per game. And they're starting this 4-receiver formation. First throw is deflected and incomplete. Good start for Ole Miss's defense up front. The deflection from Charlie Anderson, the junior out of Jackson. Here's the offensive line. Carl Hutchins is the lone senior over on that left side. He has a knee injury. This team's 2nd to last in the SEC against the run. The Ole Miss front 4.
When we asked defensive coordinator Chuck Dreisbach, his best defensive player, no hesitation. Nose tackle Jesse Mitchell, strong and very quick for his size.
Jesse comes to the sideline on 2nd down as they add an extra DB. More confusion here as the play clock gets down to 5. Fant has them all set. Puts it in the belly of Justin Griffith. Got out to the 22. Good pickup. We'll have 3rd and about 8 or 9 coming up for Mississippi State. It's a 4-2-5 defense this year for Ole Miss. Eddie Strong, the captain, injured most of the year. This is a huge night as he goes out. He plays next to Justin Wade, and here's the back 5.
Ole Miss is going to have to be able to play well against the run tonight, and their safeties. They're going to put a lot of people at the line of scrimmage. Their safeties will be asked to do a lot. No more than Matt Greer, number 44. He'll be up in the box to make tackles, asked to blitz, asked to do a lot, and he's an exceptional player.
He's had an awesome year. Leads the team in tackle for loss, interceptions, and sacks. So he's handled all those duties quite well. First down, awaits at the 30. Sees the pocket close on him. High throw, great grab. First down, Justin Jenkins at the 31. So the junior from Pearl, Mississippi moves the chains.
That's good work by Jenkins to get open against that man coverage. Kevin Fanto had to buy a little bit of extra time. There was some pressure from Greer to the right. Steps up in the pocket, but you'll see right into your picture there. Nice job of Justin Jenkins fighting off of the man coverage and finally being able to get open, finding that open area.
What Justin Jenkins does there, he moves himself to the open area, giving Fant an open area to throw the ball to.
New look, 2 tight ends. Put it in the belly of the receiver. It's Jenkins on the reverse. Good opening, first down to the 42. Von Hutchins pushed him out, but a dozen first down yards on Justin Jenkins, who was a high school quarterback, came into the Egg Bowl last year, made a huge impact in the Mississippi State win at their campus in Starkville.
Justin Jenkins is a player that can get deep. He can make plays. Last year, probably one of their better go-to players. This year, Grendel has really stepped up to be that guy. But I like the play call there by Sparky Woods. Anytime you have an emotional defense fired up with a rivalry game, try to slow them down a little bit. Nice call there with the reverse to try to make them slow down, and that'll open up some other things like the running game.
Fred Reed joined the play late. He is the back behind Justin Griffin. Reed has it. Reed has about a yard, maybe two. Tremayne Landrum, the backup defensive end, made the play. Kirk, you alluded to Sparky Woods, age 48, third year as the offensive coordinator at Mississippi State, head coaching stints at Appalachian State and at South Carolina from 89 to 93.
One of the things that Sparky brings to this club is a little patience also. He doesn't panic when things are going so, not so well. The reason he doesn't is because he's been there before. And boy, you can't put a price tag on that experience that Sparky Woods brings to this offense.
A lot of head coaching experience on this Mississippi State staff. Officially a pickup of a yard. It was really a yard and a half. It's 2nd and 9. Griffith with a big opening across midfield and right at the first down line into Rebel territory at the 48.
Time Sparky Woods, 4 wide receivers trying to spread out the Ole Miss defense, and they'll give Kevin Fant the flexibility at the line of scrimmage to check and see how many are in the boxed area. If he has numbers that he likes to be able to run the football, he'll call the run. That time he felt pretty comfortable with the numbers, went with the run, and see if he's got enough here for the first down. Good opening with that line blocking up front.
3 chain link short.
See, the numbers are in his favor. And when you have a back like Justin Griffith in the one-back set, he's very comfortable. He's able to make a couple guys miss, and the blocking is exceptional. Got him into, looked like enough for the first, but just like you said, Mike, an inch or two short of the first down.
Donald Tucker, the right guard, was the key blocker by turning his man and opening up that hole that time for Griffin. Nice play by Donald Tucker, 73.
Third down keeper for Fant. And even though Justin Wade jumped the pile, it will be a Mississippi State first down. Jerry Punch is down on the sideline. Doc?
Guys, pre-game speech for Jackie Sherrill told his players, he said, guys, I've been a part of a lot of rivalries over the years. Alabama, Auburn, A&M, Texas, Pitt, West Virginia, Pitt, Penn State. He said, and in every single rivalry, the team that is the most physical will win the football game. If you are willing to be the most physical tonight, you will win this football game. Jackie Sherrill's final words prior to Mississippi State taking the field.
And Jerry, Chris, Trev, and Mark were talking about it in the studio, and you do throw out the records, and it's a cliche, but the reason is because rivalry games are personal. You are remembered forever if you beat or lose to the rival. Fat big ball for Jenkins. Incomplete. Hand-to-hand with Von Hutchins all the way down the field. The junior had coverage.
Well, also one of the reasons why this game is such a big, important game, Kirk, is I think, what, about 80% of these guys played high school or junior college football, Mike, in the state of Mississippi. So they know each other.
And they also said, in our state, this is it. This game is talked about year-round. And if you get bragging rights, you hear about it in the winter, in the spring, in the summer, all the way up until that next game the following year. So there is a lot on the line here, even though the records wouldn't indicate that.
2nd and 10. Fant pitches to Fred Reed. Got an opening, and Reed is shoved out of bounds near the first down, and a flag comes down. A couple out here as Eric Oliver pushed Reed off the field. One marker's back at the line of scrimmage. And that's where the foul occurred. Mississippi State's going to be pushed back into 2nd and long here.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
Well, yeah, I remember, gosh, we've seen Mississippi State so often over the last 4 years. A couple of years ago, you asked Jackie Sherrill about what he's always writing down, and he makes notes on every single play.
Like he has a diary of every game he's ever coached in. He's got a big file of them, and he always goes through them. He also makes notations in the first half of what he wants to talk to his ball club about at halftime. I mean, that's amazing. I've never seen a coach do that.
He takes notes when we meet with him. He takes notes. He always takes notes.
Diagram stuff on the board. 2nd and 18 now for Fant. Flip out to Griffith over his head. And incomplete. You know, Kevin Fant is playing through injury, guys. He's been taken in and out of games a couple of times. Hyperextended knee. He's had 3 different injuries that have bothered him this last month. Shoulder, Achilles, ankle. Remember, he missed the opening game against Oregon, an NCAA 1-game suspension that he found out on the Thursday before that game. He got what was termed to be illegal help from a booster in purchasing tires here in the state in April. So Kevin Fant has not had a consistent year being in the lineup, whether the suspension early or the injuries middle and late in this season. They need to get all the way out to the 36 to keep the drive alive, and they'll move Fant left. Rose on the run. It is caught at the 33. First down. Darius Tubbs, as Fant is hobbled after the 21-yard completion.
This is what they call a rollout play action pass. The reason they do that is so that the pass rush can't get to him, Kirk. You guys have seen this a lot of times. Watch him throw the ball going to his left. Nice throw, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice throw. They had 2 receivers that cleared out the left side and opened it up for Tubbs to just come across the field. And against man coverage, it's just a foot race. And it was a nice throw by Fant to lead the receiver Tubbs to the boundary for the first.
And the reason they roll him out is they don't want that pass rush in his face.
From the 34, play pass, blitz coming. Fant banged up, can't get away. Sacked with a loss of 11 yards.
Just
Matt
like
Greer, who we talked about.
Just like that, right?
Well, they brought more than Greer. Eddie Strong came as well. Coach Dreisbach, the defensive coordinator, brought the house here. They're going to bring a lot of different people here with the blitz. It's just to try to test Kevin Fant to see if he's going to be able to hold up. And you can see that there's one too many guys there for Justin Griffith to have to block. Eddie Strong, Matt Greer. And by the time it's all said and done, he's got 4 Rebels on his back.
And that's why Sparky Woods, previous play, rolled him out. So he
get away from that.
Get away from that kind of a blitz.
Chris Herring, the other defensive end, also in on the play. Loss of 11, 2nd and 21. Put it in the belly of Griffith. Justin Wade helped make the tackle. And we'll have 3rd and long coming up. This Mississippi State team, just like Ole Miss, played on Saturday, so both teams playing on the short week. Mississippi State lost to Arkansas at home by 7, and on ESPN2, Ole Miss lost at LSU by 1.
That was the best football game defensively that Ole Miss has played in a long, long
Since
time.
Probably Arkansas State, way back.
And not a different league.
Yeah, whole
at Baton Rouge, holding LSU the 14 points. Nice job defensively.
State trying to convert its 4th 3rd down of this opening drive of the Egg Bowl tonight. Fant steps up. It was deflected, and it's incomplete. So the good pass rush by Ole Miss will force Mississippi State to kick it away. Two good punters in this game, both in the top 20 nationally. Jackie Sherrill is a special teams taskmaster. Jared Cook has done a nice job this year. They've given up good returns to teams, although this is not a return situation. See if Cook can pin the Rebels inside the 10. Jason Armstead will let it bounce deep in the end zone. Eli Manning and the Ole Miss Rebels take the field as the Egg Bowl continues.
.370 Fortune 500 companies outsource with Kinko's every day.
All tires are on sale this Friday and Saturday starting at 6 a.m. only at Sears, America's #1 tire store. Sears, where else?
Happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
There's something I gotta do.
Oh, yeah? What?
I love this woman! I love her!
What are you doing? Stop.
Okay, then I guess this will have to do.
Oh, my God. I love this man. I love him. I love him. I love him.
Sorry about that. Hey, if you're gonna make a collect call, be sure to dial in the center. 1-800-CALL ATT. Let's show 'em, gang. 1-800-CALL-ATT. Free for you and cheap for them. Watch this. Ladder!
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Bond. James Bond.
.007 Nightfire. Rated T for teen.
This is Josh Morgan, who's starting his 35th and final game for Mississippi State. See that big wrap on his left arm? Broke a bone in that left forearm the very first series of the game last week against Arkansas and played all the way through the first half. He did not play the second half after they found out about the injury. His brother, a longtime part of Mississippi State football, Rob, a quarterback in this rivalry, now a graduate assistant. Josh is going to play this play and then be off the field. So 47's out there for this one, and then his night will likely be done. Nice sign by Jackie Sherrill, letting the senior who's meant so much to this program be a part of it on this night. The first down pass is caught by Armstead. Jason takes it out to the 25-yard line. Josh Morgan plays his one play, and now will be substituted for, and his night is likely done. Emotional, sure, in a negative way for Josh, yet showing so much courage to be out there for the last time in his football career. Unfair sometimes, isn't it?
Great move by Mississippi State. Let him go out and play that one last play.
2nd and 5 for Eli Manning. First down pass was complete. That one's complete too, to Armstead. Incomplete now. They say it hit the ground first. So we'll have 3rd down coming up.
Vintage Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator, with Josh Morgan, his final play after playing so many snaps. What the heck? Broken left arm. Let's bring him on the blitz. Go out the right way. That's Mississippi State football. That's their defensive style. And good to see him get at least one more opportunity to put the pads on and go out to play for the Bulldogs.
Let him watch the game now, guys. Come on, don't penalize him that way. 3rd and 5, needing to get to the 30 to keep the drive alive. Eli Manning pumps and throws, and dropped by Armstead. Incomplete. So they worked him hard. Armstead couldn't come up with the 2nd and 3rd. So Ole Miss will kick quickly, as Eli Manning, who's been bothered by an elbow injury, which we'll talk about next time they get the ball back. 1 for 3 on the opening drive. Ole Miss's good kicker is Cody Ridgway, 18th in the country in punts. Corey Banks back deep to receive. Nice hang time kick, covering 46 yards. Caught at the 29 by Banks. No score. First quarter.
Hey, Bill, I need to talk to you.
What is it, you and Karen break up?
No, that's not it.
Then what?
You remember how we decided that we'd have more money to buy Bud Light if we got a 3rd roommate?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I can take her anymore.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Charge.
Make it a Bud Light.
My name is Jimmy Lancaster.
David Bolden, Sergeant Lancaster, myself, both served in Afghanistan together. Being in top physical condition is a necessity, so it took the both of us with us.
We'd all seen the commercials, but never had used one before. And this reaction to working out on the Bowflex was, it was a tremendous machine. Everybody in our camp wanted to use the Bowflex. And you can go heavy, you can do a lightweight workout, you can max yourself out on the Bowflex.
Well, the thing I say to guys who are skeptical of the Bowflex is try it.
Try it out and see what you think.
It's a very effective piece of fitness equipment that anybody can benefit from, no matter what your fitness level is. I use Bowflex, and that's all I use.
The Bowflex kept us mentally focused as well as physically.
They helped us stay in shape, and staying in shape helped us do our jobs.
Call and ask for a free video and brochure, and check out the entire Bowflex lineup, or visit us on the web today. Bowflex, real results.
ESPN College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. Brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Bowflex. Visit Bowflex online at www.bowflex-endzone.com.
It is just like Grisham wrote about it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the town square in Oxford, Mississippi, where we had the pleasure of enjoying our family Thanksgiving dinner with our Thursday night football family last night.
Can we say where we ate?
Oh, we'll get them later.
Okay.
We'll build up to that.
University Grill. I said it first. That means I get free dinner.
It's the downtown grill. Actually.
Oh,
what are you talking about? Did you go somewhere else?
It's like a downtown grill.
You're getting your cities mixed up.
Where are we anyhow?
First and 10 from the 29.
So anxious to say it. You dropped the ball there on us.
Griffith keeps going, and he'll be just shy of the first down out at about the 39-yard line. Justin Griffith has senior has 5.5 per carry. Good pass catcher, but a lot of one-back tonight.
Yeah, they like to use him in the one-back. Their most talented running back, and when he's healthy, I can remember Sparky Woods telling us 2 years ago that Justin Griffith was the best back that they've had, and it's because he's a valuable commodity. He can play fullback, and he can also star as a one-back. I think he'll get an outstanding look at the next level because of his versatility as a running back.
Offensive coordinator's dream, second and less than a yard. Everything in the playbook's available to you. Fred Reed stuck, but he did pick up the first down across the 40-yard line. Eric Johnson, the senior, out of Atlanta, Georgia, made the play along with Eddie Strong. But it'll be a Mississippi State first down. We give way of college football Thursday nights to Thursday night hockey starting next week on ESPN. In the early going on our final college football Thursday night on ESPN, it's been Mississippi State controlling the game. Their long drive resulted in no points to begin. The move man is Donald Lee, the senior tight end. Kevin Fant throws. Complete second grab of the night for Darius Tubbs, who takes it to the 49-yard line. 8-yard pickup on the 17th catch of the season for Tubbs.
Well, they roll out Kevin Fant again. Kirk and I were talking about this before, but it's because they get better pass protection and they don't get negative yards, right, Kirk? This way, he gets the ball out, he sees it, boom. No negative yards.
No negative yards, and I got to say it again. Outstanding job of mixing up formations and play calling by Mississippi State right now. They have this Ole Miss defense off balance and kind of guessing which way they're going to go.
Offside flag comes in as Jarius Norwood, the freshman out of Brandon, Mississippi, picked up the first down on his own, but they'll take the flag and the 5 and move into Rebel territory. It's a Mississippi State team 3-8 on the season, 0-7 in the league.
Offside on the defense. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
That's another thing I used to like to do in big rivalry games like Indiana, Purdue, or Ohio State, Michigan, those games. I used the snap count as a coach as a weapon because the opponents were always really fired up and wanted to come. And I used a non-rhythmic call. That time, Fant went hut, 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 and the guy jumped and got that easy first down. That's a very good weapon in a ball game like this.
Norwood is the lone back. The junior from Moss Point, Mississippi, Kevin Fant. Another pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. It's the third time Jesse Mitchell getting a hand on that one. He leads the team in quarterback hurries, so he's always in the quarterback's face. We talked about Mississippi State and what's happened in a year where they could not get a conference win. See, they were the champions of the West in '98. Bowl game success. Things were rolling the last couple of seasons. Just 6 wins, 2 in the league, both coming last year. They're trying to avoid a winless SEC season, and that hasn't happened in 14 years in Starkville. 2nd and 10 at the Ole Miss 45. Forward. Not much room with Eddie Strong waiting. The captain who hopes to avoid his final game.
Well, Eddie Strong is one of the better linebackers in the SEC when he's healthy. And that time, Mississippi State went back to a play that's been working, that lead draw. But Eddie Strong has seen that now a couple too many times. Fought off his block and shot through the gap and made a nice play.
And physically, he's an NFL-looking boy. Player 6'4", 245, and a beautiful specimen and a good football player when he's well.
Needing to get to the 36 to keep the drive alive. Pressure on Fant. Got rid of it to the tight end. Donald Lee out of bounds at the 35. He is right at the mark. I think he picked it up.
Well, when you bring a lot of pressure, you're going to leave yourself out there relying on a secondary and linebackers that can make plays. This time, Eddie Strong, who we just talked about, got left by Donald Lee in pass coverage. Donald Lee is, I tell you, when you talk about Donald Lee to Sparky Woods, his eyes light up. That's been one of the few bright spots this year for this Bulldog offense, and he made the big catch there. And again, Kevin Fant avoiding the pressure to make the throw.
Mississippi State looking as good on offense as they have all year here in the first quarter. Loss of a yard for Justin Griffith. It was very active first quarter for Yardage Johnson and that guy Jesse Mitchell.
Boy, Jesse Mitchell is a fine football player. He's 6'1", 277 pounds. And when we talked to Chuck Dreisbach, he told us, no question, without hesitation, the best defensive football player I have, Jesse Mitchell. Quick and powerful and really good, strong strength.
Same hometown as Fant, Moss Point. Two guys know each other very well. Loss of a yard. 2nd down run. Fred Reed can't break through the arm tackles. Gains, about 1.5 yards. 3rd and long coming up again for Mississippi State. College football Saturday on ESPN2. You'll see Byron Leftwich try to improve his Heisman chances against Ball State. And in primetime on ESPN, it is Timmy Chang and Hawaii taking on Alabama. College football Saturday presented by the U.S. Postal Service on ESPN, 7:45 Eastern time.
That was supposed to be Alabama's bowl game after a big win over Auburn. Now,
yeah, Mississippi State's been very good here. You just saw 4 of 5 on 3rd downs.
23rd Mississippi State play of the quarter. The pressure's on. Fant throws. Is caught for the first down by T. Millens. Speaking of Alabama, Freddie's brother picks up 10. First down.
This looked familiar. Getting away from the pressure again on 3rd down. One of the tendencies of the Ole Miss defense is they're going to bring some pressure. And they're not only getting away from the pressure, they have people open downfield. That time Millens made an easy catch right in front of Blanchard.
One of the reasons why that play was successful, they put Donald Lee, number 84, in motion, and he became a blocker like a fullback and gave him that extra split second.
It has been a first quarter dominated by Mississippi State. Fant looking to get some points out of it. He's got a lot of room to run. Here he goes. Well, the room closed quickly, didn't it? Ryan Hamilton, the backup strong side backer from Miami, made the tackle.
The more that we watch college football, you see these defenses continue to take the NFL defenses, the zone blitz schemes, and attacking and pressuring. You can forget about the spread offense, forget about all these new innovative offensive attacks. I still think it comes back down to having balance. And that's what we've seen here in this first quarter. 14 running plays, 10 pass plays for Mississippi State. Outstanding job of distributing the football and great job of play calling by Sparky Woods.
And you keep Eli Manning on the bench. Fant takes a timeout. So shall we. 3 12 left in the opening quarter at the Egg Bowl.
I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care what the last coach promised you. Now we're going to work.
He turned boys
Well, that's how it's done.
into players.
You damn near killed my friend.
He ain't quitting.
He turned players
You weren't fame without sweat.
into champions.
Not in this team.
Tom Berenger as Paul Bear Bryant, the Junction Boys. Saturday, December 14th, 9 p.m. on ESPN.
To kick off the Chevy year-end event, we added a little razzle-dazzle.
Feast your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Razzle-dazzle.
Maybe we'll stick to what we do best. Get 0% APR with 0 down payment and 0 payments for 90 days. Or get $2,000 cash back on all new 2003 Chevy trucks and SUVs. See your Central Mississippi Chevy dealer today.
Where are you going?
Join the crowd Friday shopping for bargains at one of America's premier furniture stores, Muskelly's. Register to win $5,000 in furniture and prizes. Plus, there's 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments till 2004. You'll see bargains like this store-wide at our sprawling 250,000 square foot superstore. Shop Muskelly's biggest sale on Friday and register to win $5,000 in furniture and prizes. It's Muskelly's after Thanksgiving sale.
That's a Mississippi State band that made the 97-mile journey from Starkville to Oxford. Oxford in the northern part of Mississippi. For those of you who have not been down here, about an hour's drive from Memphis. Another lengthy drive for Mississippi State. The first one resulted in a punt. It's 2nd and 6 for Kevin Fant in the offense. Just 2, maybe 3 yards, depending on the spot for Norwood. We'll be back to another 3rd down. This is going to be 3rd and 3, though.
Right. An area, again, that they've been very successful. Prior to going to that break, we talked about Sparky Woods tonight and the balance and running and throwing. And I really think, and Lee, I know we see the same thing every week, these defenses and how they love to attack. I love to see teams throw, but I just think it's so important to have balance. The great offenses in the country have the ability to hurt you running and throwing. And when you can get that, now you have an offense that can attack any defense they face week in and week out.
Griffith, the lone back, 4 receivers on 3rd and 4. Fant rolls left. He's been good over here. His end zone throw is too strong for Ray Bivens. And we're going to have a 35-yard field goal attempt coming up.
Now, even if they don't make this field goal, here's an interesting stat to go along with Kirk's balance. State has had the ball approximately 11 minutes and 30 seconds, and old Archie Manning, 56 seconds.
Or
Eli. I mean, Eli. Right. That's why I get all excited when I see the Manning. It's a wonderful family, I think.
Oh, the best.
56 seconds. Not a bad defensive job on him.
3 and out. That was
Brent
it.
Smith from 35, who has been very sharp as the season has gone on, converts that one. 15th field goal of the season for the top percentage field goal kicker in the SEC.
When spills are at their worst, Bounty's at its best. It's quilted, so it absorbs faster. It even gets what other towels leave behind. And it's stronger, too.
The quilted quicker picker upper Bounty.
Happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
There's something I gotta do.
Oh, yeah? What?
I love this woman! I love her!
What are you doing? Stop.
Okay, then I guess this will have to do.
Oh, my God. I love this man.
for it?
Hey, Bill, you stayed here too? Yeah, want to share a cab? Deal. All right. Great hotel. Yeah, pricey though. Wasn't that bad. Yeah, if you're a CEO. Why? What did you pay? Here's my bill. I didn't pay nearly that. Not even half. You got ripped.
Hey, buddy, I can get you a great deal on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Save up to 70% on hotels worldwide. Hotels.com. The best prices at the best places. Guaranteed.
The Mississippi State quarterback's already showing signs of the Egg Bowl on his jersey. 5 of 11 for 59 yards. And that drive ending up in the field goal. See another double-digit play drive for Mississippi State. The first one ended up being a punt. Oh, this poor guy. Gosh, he's cold. He's tired. Let him go home. Come on, let's go home.
That looks like me after that meal last night.
That was quite a show over at that table.
Yeah, thank you.
Knuckling kickoff to Jason Armstead. He had no momentum going forward, so he will take a knee. Well, the second drive for Eli Manning, as we've alluded to so many times. The son of Archie, brother of Peyton. The stats not as good this year. 18 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. The supporting cast has not helped him. Here they are. The running game's last in the SEC. It's been tailed back by committee. You'll see mostly Tremayne Turner there in the middle. Bill Flowers is at one receiver. Jason Armstead, the other one. Eric Rice is the nephew of Jerry Rice. And there's a head down listening to the game, Archie Manning. As always, on hand for Eli's games in Oxford. Here's Tremayne Turner into the secondary for a dozen first down yards. The junior from Springfield, Tennessee. Good hole opened up in the middle there. Ben Claxton, one of the best centers in the nation. Marcus and Belton Johnson, brothers. They are making their 22nd start next to each other. Here's State's front.
You're going to see a combination of a number of people. Tommy Kelly, number 55, has the most talent. He's fighting through some injuries. But these guys they have to play well tonight and getting pressure on Eli Manning.
First down of the night for Ole Miss from the 32. Flag comes in as Turner gallops through that hole on the left side. We're going to back him up 5 with a false start.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
I'll show you the remainder of the Mississippi State defense. Mario Hagan along with T.J. Mawhinney at the linebacker. Hagan wraps up a great career tonight. 8th all-time tackler when this game is done. And the 5 DBs from Mississippi State.
Number 2, Corey Banks, has started 22 straight games, and he's the leader of the secondary of the number 4 ranked pass defense in the nation, Mississippi State.
Another one of those seniors playing with the urgency of knowing that this is it. Last game, no bowl game for Mississippi State. If Ole Miss wins, they could very well find themselves in the Independence Bowl. First down, deep ball for Collins. Wants the flag, gets the flag on Banks. We just talked about Corey Banks.
Yes.
He was flagged.
Well, Banks this was a beautiful automatic play there by Eli Manning. You can tell it was an automatic, and I'll show you in a second why.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Eli comes over the ball, and you'll notice the 2 backs will come up, and he calls it automatic. And Kirk, what he does here, Banks grabs a hold of him as he's going by him, and that's why it's called pass interference.
Yeah, and Eli, in spending some time with him yesterday, he said, listen, if their corners are going to walk up tight and jam the receivers, we're going to get them out of that coverage by just simply throwing a fade right over top of them. We have to be able to hit that pass play because they feel that they have more skill with their receivers. I mean, think about Bill Flowers, who's got great speed, Chris Collins. They've got to be able to beat that bump coverage, and then they can do so many different things with their offensive packet.
First down, play action for Manning. Let's check that elbow. The pass is right there to Tremayne Turner, incomplete. And one bank off his head into the waiting hands of an LSU defender that eventually led to the change in momentum in Baton Rouge on Saturday, and Ole Miss's loss to LSU. In this stretch, Eli Manning and the Rebels have lost their last 5 games, and the stats just have not been pretty. Eli Manning has been intercepted more. This team has turned the ball over more, and then the elbow injury really thwarted the offensive attack, really brought the playbook in a little bit last week. Here's Turner on the run to about the 46-yard line. So we have 3rd down and 7 coming up.
People look at Eli Manning this year. They look at the numbers, the 18 touchdown passes, the 13 interceptions. Last year, of course, he had 31 touchdown passes. And they say, boy, has he had a down year. We touched on it from the beginning of the broadcast. Not only the supporting cast, but more importantly, the running game. Ole Miss early in the year when they were 5-1, they had Robert Williams back there picking up yardage and taking pressure off of Eli Manning. In the last 6 games, when they've really struggled, you can see his numbers have been affected by a lack of a consistent running game that's put more pressure on the passing attack.
His 3rd down throw is low and incomplete. So that's 3 attempted hookups with Armstead that have not been converted. And Eli Manning's 1 for 5, and his Ole Miss team will have to kick it away again. So back comes Cody Ridgway. Corey Banks will wait for Ridgway's 2nd kick on the night. Mississippi State so good at blocking punts, but Ole Miss very good at protecting. Very returnable from the 13 Banks. Fabulous coverage by the starting receiver, Chris Collins. Long field for the Bulldogs. NBA Friday tomorrow on ESPN. The Raptors have Vince Carter back. They'll take on Paul Pierce and the Celtics in the Ming Dynasty. Yao Ming rolls into Seattle to Peyton's Place. Raptors, Celtics, Rockets, Sonics. NBA Friday. Coverage begins with NBA shoot-around at 7:30 Eastern with Kevin Frazier and Tim Hardaway. Yao Ming leading the NBA in field goal percentage thus far.
He should, right?
7-6.
I saw he had 30 the other night.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Speaking of the night, you see the Magic beat Shaq back in Orlando?
On ESPN.
Looking
That's right.
good.
Think the Magic are for real?
Absolutely. With Hill.
Grant Hill healthy.
Oh, he's
T-Mac.
You guys aren't going to follow me in the NBA, are you? No. I'm going to get rid of you here in a few weeks, right? Griffith for 2 here on first down.
You're going to miss 30. Believe me, you're going to miss
I will miss you.
We had a couple of bowl games together, right?
Yeah.
Good. That'd be great. Look forward to that. First quarter done. Only 3 more to go tonight. Eli Manning has struggled just 1 of 5 here in the early going. Mississippi State leads by 3 as we head to quarter number 2.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge, Tuesday on ESPN and ESPN2.
Mississippi has history, antiques, and year-round golf. A weekend has 2 days. Mississippi has woods, water, and wildlife. A weekend has 2 days. Mississippi has resorts, beaches, the blues. Hey, is there any law that says a weekend has to have just 2 days? Nah. So call 1-866-C-MISS and plan a long weekend. Mississippi feels like coming home.
Home for the holidays. Brought to you by the United States Postal Service, your holiday shipping center.
We moved into a new house where Mom got this great new job. I heard her talking to Dad about doing the right thing with her retirement money. Something about rollover, which gave me this great idea. Come on, baby. Come on. Roll over. Roll over. I'm just gonna turn your body this way. I hope her rollover was easier. It must be.
No-load mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence.
All tires are on sale this Friday and Saturday starting at 6 a.m. only at Sears, America's #1 tire store. Sears, where else?
This Friday only, it's the Ace one-day sale. The Ace one-day sale, this Friday only at Ace.
Winter Wonderland, brought to you by the United States Postal Service, your holiday shipping center.
It's time to see the #1 comedy in America.
Let me check my Palm Pilot.
Friday after next is hilarious.
It ain't your booty, it's your beauty.
You remedial. Front-loaded with non-stop jokes. It's the funniest Friday ever.
Say it again.
It's the funniest Friday ever.
Yeah, boy.
Ice Cube, Mike Epps.
Tell your fine daddy I said, ah.
Friday after next.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Rated R. Now playing.
Come on.
Quarter number 2 of the Egg Bowl. It's the Bulldogs, Mississippi State. Tough-looking Bulldog there, Coach.
Yeah, he's had a tough season this year. Uga is 10-1. He looks a lot better.
A lot stronger. It's a
lot stronger. Looks smiles and everything.
Georgia's Bulldogs a lot happier than Mississippi State's. Yeah. State's dominated the first quarter, leading by 3. Kevin Fant's throw is complete. Hard hit on Antonio Hargo, but yardage sufficient for the first down. Hargo, the sophomore, with his 3rd catch on the season. Hutchins made the play.
The first quarter, State had the ball 12 minutes and 3 seconds. Ole Miss 2 minutes and 57 seconds. And what's the score?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Mississippi State's dominated the first quarter 3-0. Ole Miss have given up some yardage, but they've held Mississippi State out of the end zone.
Frustrating for David Cutcliffe, whose team is in a must-win situation. And when you're in a must-win situation, your defense can often set the tone. And tonight, they have yet to do that. They can't get off the field. Justin Griffith's run on first down might get him back to the original line of scrimmage. Well, in the SEC, as you guys well know, you better run the ball if you want to be good. Mississippi State's 11th in running. Ole Miss is 12th in running in the SEC this year. Need we say any more why this season has not equaled expectations on either side? As you look at the first quarter plus numbers and see the dominance from Mississippi State in terms of just keeping it away from Eli and company. Watch the safety, 44 Greer. Dancing. Is he going to cover? Is he going to come? He'll stay in coverage as Fant had his first option taken away. This is all Adwood. It is a completion out to Justin Jenkins. Now 3 with another 3rd down ahead.
That's a great call by you, Mike. That you were looking at the same thing Kevin Fant was looking at. He was trying to figure out what he was going to do. Because he was dancing back and forth, he thought he was going to come on a blitz, so he wanted to get the ball out quickly to the receiver. But Greer, late, after the audible was already made, sat back right in that area. So Kevin Fant did a nice job of holding on to the ball and coming off to the secondary receiver.
Very enthusiastic crowd trying to urge the home defense on. Griffith out of the backfield. He will pick up the first down and more. Out to the 47-yard line. Receiver Ray Bivens just got out of the way and cleared the way for Griffith to pick up 18 first down yards.
Oh, you're going to bring the heat. You're going to give yourself, again, we talked about a 3rd down. You bring the heat, you leave yourself vulnerable. But there, it's the screens, it's the reverses. They're doing everything they can to slow down Ole Miss. Now, look at the job. Look at the patience there by Griffith to set up a number of blocks there. Nice. He was 1 block away from taking that all the way.
The right tackle, David Stewart, really got out there and got a nice block for Griffith and allowed him to get the extra 10 yards.
Stewart, Tucker, Bivens, 3 nice blocks on that side to help the big game. Fabulous 3rd down conversions tonight from Mississippi State. Norwood, the freshman. Jarius is tripped up at midfield. So we'll have 2nd and 7 coming up. Norwood out of Brandon, Mississippi, approaching the 400-yard mark for this season. Still looking for his first collegiate touchdown.
Nothing takes the enthusiasm out of a defense than an offense continuing to convert on 3rd down. Just watching Ole Miss's defense, the emotion and the energy level after every 3rd down conversion, it's like, oh my gosh, back to the huddle, back to square one. Meanwhile, Mississippi State, they're gaining more and more confidence.
Right in the belly of Norwood, out of the gun. Very good play. Up front again by Jesse Mitchell. I guess they weren't lying when they told you he was good, Lee.
No, he's a great football player. He's got great quickness. He's not very tall, but he's got that low center of gravity, 6'1", 277, he moves around. From a coaching standpoint, there's another point I'd like to make up. Mark this down on your calendar. In the 4th quarter, if the Ole Miss defense isn't tired, I'm missing my guess because they're going to play a lot of football from now on, and I wouldn't be surprised if the fourth quarter, if Mississippi State doesn't really put it to them. As much as they're playing, they got to get time.
They're on pace for 80 or 90 snaps tonight.
At least.
Fant is pressured, stepped up in the pocket, incomplete. A little high for Justin Jenkins in a punting situation. So even though the total plays are 34-7 in favor of Mississippi State, the score is only 3-0. Another punting opportunity for Jared Cook. He's had one block this year. Jason Armstead, excellent return man, back deep to receive. Armstead at the 15. Good return man. He's getting a little healthier. Shows you some of that return ability up the sideline with a lot of blocks. Out to the 45. So a 30-yard return makes the net just 4 yards on that punt. And maybe that will get Ole Miss jump-started here in this first half.
30-yard punt return.
Well, this is our 5th year doing the Egg Bowl, 4th year for us guys, and our tradition continues. But let's see, Phil Sims and Greg Gumbel, our CBS friends, they do the iron for the MVP of their game. Then Collinsworth and Buck and Aikman on Fox, they start something new tonight with the gridiron goblet, big long Collinsworth neck thing. We do the pies for the MVP of our game.
This is a, listen to this, pecan.
They told
Right,
me that.
very good.
I'm old-fashioned, just apple pie. This is just like Mom's right here.
This is Southern pecan.
Pecan. I'm going apple pie tonight for my MVP.
Tremayne Turner with a 2-yard run there on first down. It's hard to find an MVP when you're in a 3-0 game thus far.
Well, I'd say Sparky Woods.
I was going to say, I almost gave mine last year to Sparky Woods. I did give mine to Sparky.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, he's got to be the offensive coordinator.
He's going to be real.
He's doing a very nice job keeping him off balance.
It is very early, though. Very early. A lot can happen. Maybe somebody can bring us some ice cream for the apple pie for the second half, Herbie.
We need that.
2nd and 8 for Ole Miss. The pies will be given out during the 4th quarter tonight. Just 2 men on the line for Mississippi State, giving Eli Manning a different look. He throws against 9 to his fullback Rosano, who is lit up by Michael Goller. Michael Goller played on Mississippi State's SEC tournament champion basketball team this year, had a semester of eligibility left, was desperate to play football at some point in his career, and has come out in his last semester of eligibility and had quite a season in the back 5.
3rd and 7.
3rd leading tackler on this team. Blocked a kick, has an interception return for a touchdown as well. Ole Miss needs to sustain some offense. Give the defense a break. They face 3rd and 7. Here comes Goller on the blitz. He's picked up. Manning throws, complete. First down for Chris Collins at the 34. 18 yards. From 10 to 8 equals 18.
Mississippi State brought 3 this time and dropped 8 into coverage. So that's, you know, they're going to give the quarterback a lot of time to throw, but they're usually, when you drop 8, it's tough to be able to find an opening. But Collins and Eli Manning work well together. See, look at that. That's a great shot of what Chris Collins was looking at and finding the window between Eli Manning and himself and those linebackers.
Out of the gun, they fake the handoff. The fullback, Rosano, gains about 1.5 yards to the 33. Well, you see the big sleeve on Eli Manning's elbow. Jerry Punch has more on that, huh?
Well, guys, we told you last week at LSU, he took a helmet and a face mask on the right elbow and right forearm. Now, what he did, a ruptured a bursa, which is a fluid-filled pouch that covers the elbow, but the fluid's on the outside of the elbow, so he had full range of motion. The big concern, the contusion or bruising of the forearm, which caused some numbness up into the little fingers, and so he had trouble gripping the football. That was a big concern this week, and he had some limited practice early in the week because of that.
2nd and 9, Doc. Here's his quick throw, complete. That's right at the 22-yard line, and Bill Flowers is going to pick up the first down. An 11-yard gain. Jerry, they were concerned pregame about how Eli was going to warm up. Didn't have him throw yesterday, and they also wanted to check how comfortable the sleeve would be on his elbow, correct?
Exactly. The sleeve does 2 things, Michael. The sleeve has a pad in it that'll help pad the area that's bruised, and it also is elastic, so it provides compression over where he ruptured that bursa on the elbow, so it will not swell up during the game. It's actually forming 2 functions, and you're right, that didn't throw very, very minimally early in the week, 20 yards or less only in practice.
Looks good here thus far. Here is Manning. Nobody open. Ad-lib time. Get rid of it time. And the one thing Eli Manning does, and David Cutcliffe has told us the last 2 years that we've visited before this game, is the amount of poise he shows and so many things that he sees on the football field.
In fact, he said to us yesterday, I was amazed, Kirk, he said, David Cutcliffe said that Eli probably sees too much.
Yeah, he did.
He says he sees things in the game that I don't even see.
I'll take that for a quarterback. That's a good problem to have. A guy who's seeing too much. He's got tremendous poise, and it's two things. I don't care about when people talk about the NFL and the arm strength, his accuracy and his decision making. When you have those two things, you can make it at the quarterback position, and that's one of those are two of the things that Eli does better than most quarterbacks in the nation.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
2nd and 15 now coming up.
Well, he has that just a laid-back attitude too, doesn't he? I don't know. You look at Eli toe-to-toe, and look at him in the eye, and I look at Peyton eye to eye, and I tell you what, I think Eli may have Peyton by about 1/4 of an inch.
You think he's taller?
I think he might be taller.
Come on.
I'm telling you.
Our pal Peyton's yelling at his TV right now. I guarantee you that. Collins on the move. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown. And now Peyton's cheering at his TV. Way to go, little brother. Jonathan Nichols has made 43 consecutive extra points. And the sophomore from Greenwood, Mississippi, slices in number 44. Touchdown pass number 19 on the season for the junior from New Orleans, Eli Manning. Play dominated by Mississippi State. Ole Miss leads.
How good is your game plan? No matter what the conditions, Oppenheimer Funds has always believed in sticking to the fundamentals, a strategy that's proven itself time and time again. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
There they are.
Outback's curbside takeaway. Call up, pull up, and we'll bring it right to your car. So you can enjoy our perfectly grilled shrimp and our juicy steaks, seared to perfection.
Hey, I think you might have accidentally locked me out.
Outback's curbside takeaway.
Come get some. Where you going? On edge. I see you. Surprise! Who's your daddy? Dude, who you shooting at? Oh, come on! Unreal Championship. Rated M for mature. Go online with Xbox Live and take on the world.
For men, every morning it's the same routine. The desperate search for a way to relieve the pain after shaving. Finally, there's a better way to soothe your skin. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm is an advanced blend of moisturizers and vitamins that soothe and actually improve your skin. Nivea for Men. More evolved skincare.
What is wrong with you?
Who are these guys? They're a team. Experienced professionals who work in sync. This team approach is how Oppenheimer Funds delivers solid long-term performance under all conditions. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Eli Manning with a touchdown pass, the 50th in his career.
Now keep your eye right there on this gentleman right there by the name of Chris Spencer, the right guard. Watch this. He sets up. His assignment is to block the first man to the outside of the receiver. Watch this. Boom. 6'5", 305-pound freshman. They tell me he could be the best offensive lineman they've had here in years and years and years.
He moves well. Oh, boy, big guy getting out there, making a nice block.
From Madison, Mississippi.
Lee Rogers kickoff. is taken at the 5 by Norwood. Jarius Norwood up the sideline to the 34.
Before that big block, the touchdown ball was thrown here, but watch the pick, or we'll call it a rub route, where he takes out 2 Mississippi State defenders. Right here, at this point, he's going to occupy both these guys to give the opening right here for Collins. Look at the block by, and there's your big block by the lineman, but there's nobody else left.
You know, he almost didn't even need to block that.
No, he just wanted to clean it up. Collins was gone by the time he made the big block.
He sure was.
Kevin Fant of Mississippi State controlling number of plays, time of possession, trailing for the first time tonight. They're running right into the middle of this Ole Miss line on a regular basis and meeting Mitchell and Johnson. That time Griffith lost a couple of yards. Just to clean up the touchdown for Chris Collins, the junior from Mississippi as well. He now shares the career record for touchdown grabs at Ole Miss. The season record as well with Grant Hurd and Ken Toller at 9, but the touchdown grab 16 on his career now shares the record with Grant Hurd. His idol is Jerry Rice, as is true for so many young men who play wide receiver and live in this state, or in this nation for that matter. Flag is down as Justin Jenkins was trying to hop and jump and skip away from would-be Rebel tacklers. He got out to about the 37. Ole Miss was jumping up front. They'll take the penalty and make it 2nd down and 8 instead of 3rd and 7.
Offside on the defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
4 penalties now on Ole Miss, 3 on Mississippi State. 99th playing of this rivalry, 75th time that they are playing for the Golden Egg.
Jackie Sherrill is 4 and 7 in Egg Bowl games. I mean, excuse me, I'm sorry, I apologize. I got it correct. 7 wins, 4 losses. Sorry, Jackie.
4 losses, 7 wins is the way coaches think. You remember those losses forever. The wins mean I got to get them again next year, right? Yep. Vance throw, midfield, and more for Ray Bivens. Got it down to the 42, so Bivens, the sophomore, has been battling a groin injury, seeing more action because of Terrell Grindle's ankle injury. At time 20 for Ray.
Mississippi State's having a lot of success getting outside and away from the pressure, and that time having an opportunity to get it downfield. So many times they've been able to get outside and pick up yardage underneath, but they're getting it downfield. And Bivens is one of those guys that when he makes a catch, if he can slip a tackle, he has the speed to take it all the way for a big touchdown.
Fourth possession. They've all taken snaps in Ole Miss territory, but this time will be pushed back onto their side of the field as Jesse Mitchell continues his spectacular play tonight and a sack to his stat totals.
Well, what makes Jesse Mitchell so important is the fact that he's in the middle out, and watch him as he comes from the inside. What he'll do is he uses his speed and quickness. Now watch, he sheds the man. Now he's got quickness on him. You know, it's amazing to me how these guys who are 275, 208 pounds per, they got such quick feet. Man, is that kid quick.
Moss Point, the high school where he went, is the same one Fant was at. They were both together when they won 2 state titles. Teammates who know each other for a long time. Justin Jenkins got it out back towards the original line of scrimmage before the sack. Travis Blanchard, the weak safety, helped make the play.
We're seeing a cat-and-mouse game between Kevin Fant and the Ole Miss defense. Chuck drives back, the defensive coordinator. He's looking at the numbers. It's a numbers game. He's making a check at the line of scrimmage based on what he's seeing from Ole Miss's defense. Ole Miss knows that, and that's why they're bouncing in and out and in and out. Right now for Kevin Fant, when he's doing that, it's really a guessing game. Sometimes he's hit it, and sometimes Ole Miss's defense has won that battle.
They've converted 4 of these 3rd and longs tonight, needing to get to the 33 to keep the drive alive. Pressured and sacked back in midfield. Eddie Strong will get some of the credit along with Ryan Hamilton. It's the 3rd sack of the night for the Ole Miss defense, and State will punt it away.
Now we know why Kevin Fant is rolling out most often on those third down situations. Get the heck away from that pressure.
Third punt of the night for Jared Cook. The last punt return by Jason Armstead put them in good field position for the touchdown drive. Returnable from the same spot, 15, middle of the field. This time better coverage, but he outruns the coverage. Armstead with a convoy to midfield, looking for blockers. Armstead all the way to the 34. A 51-yard punt return. Gabe Wallace saved the touchdown. David Cutcliffe said preseason that he could be the best kick returner in the country. He's been hurt all year, but he's healthy now.
Well, one of the reasons why Armstead is running these balls back, Mike and Kirk, is the fact that the punter, Cook, is line driving the ball. He's got to get more height on it, hang time.
But Armstead did an outstanding job of setting those blocks up to get to the left where the wall was to get down the sideline, and he had some speed there once he got to the open field.
Tremayne Turner, give him a couple to the 33-yard line.
But the point I make is the wall is there, a good return. But if you put up enough,
get it up in the air, no hang time.
The first time he had to fair catch it. From then on, he's been driving the ball too far. It doesn't make any difference how far you punt it. It's the hang time and the net punting that counts in that stat.
No, that net punt was minus 16.
Really?
Yes.
The first one was, what, 12 or something like that?
The first one was 4.
Thank you.
Timeout Ole Miss. That's minus 12 total net for 2 punts.
Wow.
That's not good, is it?
Not good.
Nope. Pete's team 2 timeouts left. 7-3. Rebels.
Wow. MP3 player, digital camera, DVD player. Very nice. Looks like somebody's kids are going to be very happy this holiday.
Kids! Could you... I'll be right.
Something for everyone. Circuit City has tons of great gift ideas this holiday season. Circuit City, we're with you.
Hey, my wife loves these things. All wives love things.
Could you...
This Friday only, it's the Ace one-day sale. The Ace one-day sale, this Friday only at Ace.
Hey, honey, what are you watching?
The game.
Which game?
All of them.
This Friday at Sears for one day only. Get 0% financing until January 2004 on TVs over $499, camcorders over $299, and appliances over $399. Find the brands, the choices, and a head start on the holidays. The Thanksgiving weekend sale. Sears. Right.
If you fill up on one thing this Thanksgiving, make sure it's from our buy one, get one half off sale. Buy anything you want, even stuff already on sale, and get the second item for half off. So hurry in today to the buy one, get one half off sale at Foot Locker, Lady Foot Locker, and Kids Foot Locker, because this is the one sale to be thankful for.
The Gospel, according to ESPN, a great holiday gift.
ESPN College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. Brought to you by Foot Locker, your holiday shopping destination. And by the Mississippi Development Authority Tourism Division.
The courthouse here in Oxford, Mississippi. And you talk about the beauty of the Old South. And the architecture, the people. The formal ways of things. It's just a very pleasant place to visit. People are so nice. Our 5 years of visiting this state in Starkville and here in Oxford. Thanksgiving night 2002, the 99th playing of this Magnolia State rivalry. After the Ole Miss timeout, 2nd and 10, Eli back in the gun. Manning's throw is a good catch by Mike Espy. 23-yard line will give a first down to the son of the former United States Secretary of Agriculture.
Say that Espy and Biddle, the 2 young freshmen, have great speed. which will help them. Return yards almost equal to total offense. Eli just a little bit late there on the quick slant and almost cost Espy the catch.
It is still a first down as we move inside 4 minutes. Ole Miss looking to extend its lead. Turner bounces it to the outside. There's the difference in Ole Miss. They've had backs like John Avery, Joe Gunn, Deuce McAllister, who would have taken that to the house.
Yes.
That's just a pickup of 4. ABC Sports continues the holiday weekend of football tomorrow. Texas A&M taking on number 10 Texas. And then another Big 12 game, a postseason import. Colorado taking on Nebraska. The Huskers trying to find their bowl place. Same with the Aggies and the Longhorns. We know where the Buffs are headed off to, the Big 12 championship game. But a terrific doubleheader on ABC tomorrow, starting at high noon.
Can't wait to see the Colorado-Nebraska game after last year's game at Boulder. Oh, God.
Second down and 6. Turner pushing forward to the 15, about a yard and a half shy of the first down. And we talk about Eli Manning and quarterbacks with expectations because of their surname, their last name, and can't help but let that promo go by without best wishes to Chris Sims, who plays his final game as a regular season Texas Longhorn tomorrow. So much pressure on these young men because of who their dads were, and they both handled it with class all the way through, in large part because of the way they were raised by their parents. And we don't just mean the guys that you know, and Archie and Phil. We mean the moms as well. 3rd and 2. Turner runs right into the teeth of that Mississippi State defense. I don't know if he got it. They look like Mario Hagan waiting to catch him. It was. He's short. What do you want to do here, Coach?
Go for it. Oh, no question.
You want to kick a field goal, go up 7?
No, sir. Go for it.
Kicker's dialed in.
Go for it, Coach.
Got the momentum.
You go for it. You're at home. You got the crowd going. You got your line coming out. Go for it.
Gotta go for it. I think Tremayne Turner holds the key tonight for the Ole Miss offense. Whether or not they're going to have a good night offensively or not, he said, let's kick the field goal.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
That's a yard. That's about 3/4 of a yard.
Okay.
That's still on.
Oh yeah, go for it. You got to go for it. If nothing else, what you're doing is you take your team and they're proactive. Go for it. Keep the aggression on them. This is a nice conservative call.
32-yard field goal attempt for Jonathan Nichols. It's blocked.
Say nothing.
And scooped. And a saving tackle as Jason Clark was thinking of going the distance. Michael Goller, the basketball player, who's a great defender in basketball for the Bulldogs, said, get that shot out of here.
Nice. One day you find you're up to your waist in it. If being in it buys one more day on top of it, fill up the tub. Fill up the tub.
For the extra point and the win.
Snow. Blizzard.
Get a choke? Oh, I guess not.
Sunday NFL Countdown, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
Experience Jackson's home for Asian cuisine, Sun Koon. For lunch or dinner, choose from over 150 mouth-watering items, including sushi, oysters, and shrimp marinade. Every night, Sun Koon's dinner buffet includes snow crabs, ribeye steaks, and hibachi grill for only $8.95. Carry-out orders also welcome. Try Sun Koon's delicious chef specials, plus a party room for your special occasion. Sun Koon, open every night, 7 days a week, including Sunday. Across I-55 from DeVille Plaza on the southbound frontage road. Take the Briarwood exit.
To kick off the Chevy year-end event, we added a little razzle-dazzle. Feast your eyes. Oh, yeah. Razzle-dazzle.
Maybe we'll stick to what we do best. Get 0% APR with 0 down payment and 0 payments for 90 days, or get $3,000 total cash back on the 2003 Chevy Malibu and Impala. See your Central Mississippi Chevy dealer today.
Where are you going?
Michael Goller, we mentioned earlier, the basketball player for Mississippi State, and Coach Rick Stansberry. Second blocked field goal this season. He went up to block one against Arkansas, landed on his back, and was bothered by a back injury and missed most of practice this week, but was undeterred and went up to get that field goal to keep this game at 7-3. From the 35, Kevin Pham, pressure. Gets rid of it. Bivens couldn't catch it. Incomplete. You got to see this field goal blocked by Goler.
Well, Goler's athletic ability is going to allow him to jump up. But watch the surge right here by Mississippi State, which allows him to really penetrate and then to go up and make the block. But that helped him, give him about 2 yards to get up in there and get up in the air.
Jackie Sherrill.
6. He wanted pick it up, baby. Pick it up.
He wanted Jason Clark to take it the distance. The basketball, guys, this is only his 1 season of college football, and the NFL scouts are still looking at him. You see why. Justin Griffith gets a couple of yards to the left, and we send it to the east and to the north. Happy Thanksgiving, Chris Fowler in the studio.
Well, Mike, same to you. While Herbie's having his 3rd or 4th meal of the day, we've got the Pontiac halftime report, NFL highlights, long day for the ball coach and for Joey Harrington. Our Turkey Day buffet is a look back at the great moments of the season, plus hidden video as Trev and Mark join me in the Pontiac halftime report.
Chris, you're going to be shocked to know this. Herbie was desperate for a meal earlier today.
Yeah.
We have been very good today, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've been fabulous today.
After last night, I didn't think I'd eat for a week.
3rd and 8.
I've been starving today.
And I'll try to run the clock with Griffith. Ole Miss fans want the Rebels to use a timeout. They wanted it earlier. They get it here. So it's 4th down and 2. Punting situation coming up. This is an Ole Miss timeout.
There are over 200 bones in the body, and we have more than 200 student organizations. Maybe that's why there's not a lazy bone in our student body.
Very humorous.
Yeah. Isn't it smashing that the school that has sent 24 Rhodes Scholars to Oxford, England, is in Oxford, Mississippi? Quite right, old bean.
ESPN College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. Brought to you by Pontiac Performance. Log on to ESPN.com to play the Pontiac Performance College Football Challenge. And by Ace, your helpful hardware place.
So glad you've welcomed us into your home on this Thanksgiving night 2002. Ole Miss leading Mississippi State 7-3. Another Jared Cook punt after the last one. Jackie Sherrill begged him for more hang time. Armstead with room. Stumbles. Sprints. Explodes. Has midfield. To the 37-yard line. My goodness. There's a flag down back at the 36. And I think this one's coming back. What a return display Armstead is putting on here. And even though Sherrill's team's going to get bailed out with the flag, the coach is furious with his special teams.
Where's that burst been all year? Oh, twice. He got out in the open field and just...
During the return, illegal block in the back on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st and 10.
See if we can pick it up here.
Ooh, very slight.
Oh, right there. There you go.
Yeah.
He's on 39 for Ole Miss. Kelvin Robinson, the defensive back. He knows it.
Oh, man, I had touched it.
How did he turn? That would have been a 46-yard return for Armstead.
Armstead's feeling it tonight.
I want to think about going to that Louisville rugby punt against him.
We're going to relive that.
You got to bring it back every week. Say nothing.
Everywhere we go. How about that punt?
From the 27. I thought they were going to run it, put it in the deep freeze. Manning got a big block to buy some time. Eli's got nothing going on. The throw is complete. Across the 40 into the 42-yard line for Bill Flowers. Eli trying to stop the clock. It should have stopped with the first down 2 seconds before.
Exactly.
That's poor.
It's the home team, too.
Maybe they'll put 2 seconds back.
They're on it.
I think they should.
Field Judge Charles Showalter. Talking with the referee, Steve Shaw.
Yes, they should put 2 seconds back.
At least 2.
Please put 4 seconds.
Yep.
4 seconds on the clock.
mentioned Showalter in the Ole Miss Mississippi State game. We have to think about our now former ESPN colleague Buck Showalter, Mississippi State.
That's right.
Great Mississippi State days. Ole Miss will now get credit for the timeout with the 4 seconds remaining. We'll have 56 yards to go. Could have been 41 yards. Maybe a roughing the passer penalty could have been called here.
Oh.
Ronald Fields just wanted to make sure that Eli knew he was there.
Fields hit him late. Talked to Eli yesterday. I said, you know, what's the difference in playing in the Egg Bowl compared to some of the other big games that you guys play? And he said, you know, it's personal. He said, I grew up, my dad playing at Ole Miss. Of course, I loved Ole Miss and just hated Mississippi State. And, you know, he got a feel for that last year playing against Mississippi State in Starkville. He made a throw for a touchdown, and about a full second or two later, Mario Hagan came through and drilled him. And it was a late hit for 15 yards. But, you know, that's the way it is when you get into these rivalry games.
Speaking of the Mannings, can you think of a better family to represent college football than Archie and his 2 sons?
No.
I can't. I mean, I thought about it for a long time. And when you talk about what good is good about college football, that man and his 2 sons epitomize what's good for college football.
I think most people know Archie and Peyton and Eli for what they've done on the football field. We've all had the chance to get to know them personally. And I'm more impressed with them individually as people than I am as watching them play football.
First final play of the half. Eli lets it go as far as he can, and it is intercepted by Mawini, the junior linebacker, his second INT of the season. Don't forget Cooper also was a wide receiver, had to end his career because of an injury, and is just as good a guy as well. First half of the Egg Bowl in the books. Ole Miss 7, Mississippi State 3. Ole Miss has to win to get to a bowl. First, they get the ball to start the second half.
All right, Mike, thank you. Yeah, in the first half of near miss, almost big play. We're going to come back on the Pontiac Performance halftime report. Has some highlights from the NFL. Spurrier, he made some promises, kind of sort of promises about the Redskins and the Cowboys preseason, and a look back at the moments of the college football season. When we come back, Mark and Trev will join me.
The Junction Boys, Saturday, December 14th, 9 p.m. on ESPN.
Hungry? You've come to the right place. The home of great brands and great taste. Conagra Foods. We set America's table. Still hungry? Conagra Foods has the foods America craves at mealtime, snack time, or anytime. Conagra Foods. We set America's table.
Whoa, hold on. Did you know his favorite color is green? Did you know he has a pet ferret named Ricardo? You know every time he sees the sunset he cries? So how do you know he likes his food made this way? Come on. Subway makes every sandwich just the way you want it. Hey, Kisa.
Hi. Everyone's unique. That's why Subway makes every sandwich fresh, just the way you want, with your choice of delicious meats, toppings, sauces, all on fresh baked breads.
How do you know I have a ferret?
I have my ways.
Subway, eat fresh!
After Thanksgiving deals while they last at Howard Miskelly Furniture this Friday and Saturday, featuring our lowest prices of the year on brands you trust.
Sofa and love seat, both pieces just $5.55. Bedroom groups from $3.99. Huge selection of beautiful bedrooms in pecan or cherry. See our fabulous leather selection, recliners, mattresses, and dining rooms, plus a whole lot more at Howard's.
And if you buy now, you pay 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest till 2004. This Friday and Saturday at Howard Miskelly Furniture, you'll definitely like our prices.
This halftime report presented by Pontiac. Fuel for the soul.
This is the Pontiac Performance halftime report. Chris Fowler, Trev Alberts, and Mark May. Once again, happy Thanksgiving. Guys, Florida State takes on Florida this weekend, and the backdrop is very weird. Not only are both programs down a bit, 7 combined losses, but the Seminoles without their starting quarterback, Adrian McPherson, a guy who had taken over that role the last few games. Not the happiest of Thanksgiving for McPherson and his family. Wednesday, flanked by his attorneys, he surrendered. He was arrested on felony grand theft and misdemeanor theft for his alleged role in a check forgery scam. McPherson had been the starting quarterback for the Noles. He had been suspended by Bowden before this arrest. Now Chris Ricks returns the quarterback. You've got that situation. Ricks coming back. You've got Daryl Dickey and Jeff Bowden, two offensive coaches, switching positions from the booth to the field. A lot of weird stuff going on there. I don't know if it could help them play well against the Gators.
Well, I think on the field, this is going to be good that Chris Ricks is a starting quarterback for Florida State. I actually think this is a better football team with him as the quarterback. I think he's the better quarterback. I mean, lest we forget, at the end of last season, Chris Ricks was playing fantastic. We did a pre-Heisman show, and he was kind of out there as a guy you better watch out for. He had a great time the last half of the season. So I think looking right now that you know he's your starting quarterback, the rest of the guys, forget about it. You can't complain anymore, Mark. You know he's going to be the guy, and I think Chris Ricks now can play with confidence. He doesn't look over his shoulder saying, who's going to be the other quarterback? I'm the starting quarterback. This is my team. I think Florida State will play very well.
You hit the word right on the head, and you want to know why? Confidence. It's the players around him that have to have confidence in him, and they don't. That's why he was benched. That's one of the reasons why he was benched.
So you don't agree
in my opinion, no, I do not agree with you. I think the key for the situation is, as a quarterback, you've got to have every player on the offense look at you. You are the leader. They have to respond to you throughout the entire game. There are players that have questions about Chris Ricks' leadership on this football team. I feel that this is a situation where this is not going to help the team. He was benched earlier this season because of his play on the field, Trev, and there was a reason for it, because he didn't play well. That's one reason for it. But I'm telling you what, as an offensive player, not a defensive player, we can just throw a defensive back in there and you don't miss a beat. This is the offense. You've got to have continuity. You've got to have a quarterback directing the ship.
But I think also that the players respect Chris Ricks for how he handled being benched. He didn't come out, he didn't whine. The players said he worked even harder. Forget about it, guys. Chris Ricks is your starting quarterback. You better rally around him.
McPherson, though, was a popular guy, and his arrest, him being kicked off the team, that's just a major distraction. The problem is, for a team that's headed for a BCS bowl game, by the way, win or lose, apparently the Noles headed for the Sugar Bowl, perhaps with 5 losses if they can't turn it around and get it done against the Gators. Another issue in college football this week has to be fan security, post-game unrest. Last weekend was just terrible in Columbus and Pullman and Clemson, even in Honolulu. There was all kind of unrest. You see the students, a vain attempt to tear down goalposts that are rooted way in the ground. They couldn't get them down, but there were some injuries and some security folks using pepper spray. In Clemson, you see, they did get the goalpost down, but this Thanksgiving Day, one security officer spending it in the hospital because he was injured there. Honolulu, there was a fight. Cincinnati and Hawaii players, and the big question, do you keep fans off the field altogether and spend all that money, or do you let them on the field and try to guard the goalposts? What do you do?
You keep them off the field. That's my opinion. And you basically fear for your life out there as a player. When you see 2,000 or 3,000 people running at you, I'm going to buckle up and protect myself. It's going to come down to where a star player is going to get injured or a coach is going to be injured, that they're going to say, hey, wait a minute, this is too expensive. We're going to lose a great star player. We're going to lose our coach, or somebody's going to go to the hospital. We're going to put the horses on the field. We're going to keep the fans in their seats. They are spectators. They are not supposed to be on the field.
I agree with everything you're saying. The only thing I would say is you can't stop it. There's 80-some thousand people. What are you going to do? I mean, the sad thing is, if you're not careful, like what Wisconsin did, they had the fence up, then you got people rushing on the field, then people are getting trampled. I mean, you got to be very careful with how you do that, too. I agree. If you're going to do it, you're going to have horses lined up, shoulder to shoulder, get pit bulls out there and say, if you come on our field, we're going to whack you in the knees. I mean, that's the only way you can stop 80,000 people from rushing the field. But you got to do something.
It's much tougher in college stadiums than NFL stadiums to keep them off the field. I was in Columbus on the field there. You can't have a confused policy. Either let them on the field and let them have their fun, or keep them off, because you can't ask security officers to make judgment decisions like that. You're going to have problems every single time. In the NFL, and today, this afternoon, the Thanksgiving tradition, Dallas hosting Washington, and Steve Spurrier give a little spice to this rivalry. Introductory news conference promising the owner a victory in this one.
The old ball coach. Hey, you better deliver.
He just said one of the two, right? He didn't specifically promise
you
this
the home
game. Watch the block here. Flozell Adams gets up.
Flozell Adams, bringing a big offensive line. He's got no
I used to do that when I was playing. I was on the block team.
You were watching Ole Miss.
No, that's not an athlete. That's the
right there. Brian Parker comes out of that thing bloodied. Then Chad Hutchinson playing a little better lately. Joey Galloway, as the DB goes for the pick, makes the mistake, and Joey just
act like you've been there, Joey.
In the end zone. 27-20. Cowboys and Skins both at 5 and 7. Werfel 21 of 36 for 243. Pats and Lions, tough day for Joey Harrington. Penny Brewski baits him into making the bad throw, makes the pick, takes it to the house. New England up 10-zip. Belichick's defense very tough on the young quarterback.
And basically, they did a lot of zone blitzing, showing different looks. When you have a young quarterback, you do this, you zone blitz, and he throws it right to the defensive lineman, Bobby Handelman, for another interception.
3 picks on the day for Joey, 22 of 44. Antoine Smith busts in from a yard out. Harrington, troubled day, and 7-5 the Patriots are now, and Detroit falling to 3-9. NBA doubleheader tomorrow on ESPN, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Raptors and Celtics, followed by the Rockets and the Supersonics. When we come back on the Pontiac Halftime Report, we'll look back at the moments of the season, including Seneca Wallace's amazing run. Also ahead, hidden video.
Machine. Right on, right on, right on.
Thanks.
Enjoy it, man.
A-Cube technology from Adidas, exclusively at Foot Locker.
In the 1860s, we began connecting a continent, building a network so powerful it would transport an entire nation into the future. I guess you could say we've been online for the last 140 years.
Sergeant Pepper's action at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Ole Miss on top of Mississippi State, 7-3 halftime of the Egg Bowl. And welcome back on our Thanksgiving edition of the Pontiac Halftime Report. Time now to take a look at some of the reasons why we're so thankful for this particular college football season, the plays, the players, and some of the moments of college football 2002.
Scrambling, tight ropes down inside the 10. Look out! Looking for a block, gets it! Wallace, touchdown, incredible play! Navarre again steps up, under pressure, intercepted! Shane Walton. A jubilant scene down in the field for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Carson Palmer going deep, has a man, Williams, got it! Touchdown Trojans! Brad Banks, Heisman, you bet it.
Now look at this, the offensive linemen are carrying them down.
Incredible effort. Looking to the end zone, it's touchdown. McGahee turns the corner, dives for the end zone, touchdown. Johnson, here he goes. This is 2,000 plus for Larry Johnson. And the Buckeyes are headed to the desert. Let's party, Columbus. Dropping back Dorsey, throws, caught, touchdown Miami.
McGahee, 10-5. That's what I'm talking about, Willis.
And the Canes survive for the win. The kick on the way. He missed it. Wide left. On 4th down and 2 for the Buckeyes. And Brent drops back to throw. And it is caught by Jenkins for a touchdown.
Green in the end zone, up for grabs, it's caught!
Oh my goodness.
Touchdown, Georgia!
The dreams of a national championship might have just gone up in smoke.
Here's Henry Miller! Henry Miller! Louisville wins!
Randall stops, throws it as far as he can. Count! Touchdown! Jack Hunt! Caught it and scored! Last play of the game, and I don't believe it! I do not believe it!
The Tariq will get the call of the year for the overtime game, Florida State-Louisville. For me, that Ohio State-Michigan, the final tense quarter that game in Columbus, and then the orgasmic explosion after the game of emotion after Ohio State held on was the moment of the year.
What I'm going to be thankful for is, it hasn't even happened yet. I'm thankful that Notre Dame and USC are both good again. The game actually means something, but I'm not going to be thankful when USC beats Notre Dame and Notre Dame goes to the BCS and USC doesn't.
You know what I'm thankful for?
What?
There's no clear-cut leader for the Heisman Trophy. I like it like this. I like it to come right down to the end. No, there isn't. There's no clear-cut leader. I like it to come right down to the end. Guys playing their hearts out, trying to win the Heisman Trophy. I think that's great.
I agree with you. We want some suspense when the envelope is opened on Saturday the 14th. Is going to end on a sour note for you with the BCS controversy?
No, I want USC.
I understand your point. I feel you. Virginia Tech, 3:30 Eastern time on Saturday. Matt Schaub and the Cavaliers, a young team really coming on strong. Alabama and Hawaii as the Tide try to regroup out in the island, 7:45 Eastern time. That's football on Saturday. Coming up next, hidden video and a tribute to one of the legendary coaches of college football. Halftime in Oxford, Rebels by 4.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea for Men, or Evolve Skincare.
I do all her copying, faxing, and printing, and she barely says hi. Jim takes my copies to her desk, and now they're sushi buddies. Oh, super.
Toshiba copiers make you look good.
Yo, neat. Where's the dip?
Only Tostitos scoops have the bite-sized bowl-shaped design that's perfect for dipping and dunking every time.
I thought that was a myth.
So however you like to dip, there's only one Dip Lover's chip.
I own this court. Yeah. No, I really own this court. You guys got to go.
Tostitos Scoops, the Dip Lover's chip.
It all starts here, grade school, the place where our children begin preparing for life. And the SEC recognizes the responsibility teachers have to affect their future.
The SEC's education initiative, every elementary school and library throughout the Southeast is getting this wonderful CD-ROM. It uses athletics to reinforce math and reading skills, and it teaches things like teamwork and good sportsmanship.
The Southeastern Conference, creating a legacy for the future.
Joe, I've been really good this year.
And I think Santa's gonna bring you something good.
You think he'll bring me an avalanche?
I don't know if you've been that good.
What about it, Gino?
We should all be celebrating with the great deals we've got going on at Rogers Nursery. We've got 2003 Z71 starting at only $23,995.
Hit him the leg, hit him the leg.
And 2003 Tahoe starting at only $27,995.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
From all of us at Rogers Nursery Chevrolet Hummer. I feel the love.
Join the crowd Friday shopping for bargains at one of America's premier furniture stores, Miskelly's. Register to win $5,000 in furniture and prizes. Plus, there's 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments till 2004. You'll see bargains like this store-wide at our sprawling 250,000 square foot superstore. Shop Miskelly's biggest sale on Friday and register to win $5,000 in furniture and prizes. It's Miskelly's after Thanksgiving sale.
This halftime report presented by Pontiac. Fuel for the soul.
Coach Bryan expects us back immediately.
I haven't even developed the x-rays yet. Coach Bryan's not the patient here. The boy could have a serious problem. You need to stay here, son. You'll like it. We got air conditioning, football can wait.
Football might wait. I don't reckon Coach Bryant will. Thanks anyway, Doc.
Just a great illustration of a very different era in college football. The Junction Boys follows the Heisman Trophy presentation Saturday, December 14th. Of course, Bryant finished with 323 wins, and Roy Kidd at Eastern Kentucky finished his great career with 315 wins. Here's a look at the climax of that career in Eastern Kentucky against Tennessee State. C.J. Hudson will take the handoff. A little pregame emotion there. No romp. 41 yards for the touchdown. The Colonels finished their season with a 45-20 victory.
You know what's the great thing about, I went on Eastern Kentucky's website, Chris. You can actually email Roy Kidd, and you can give suggestions about what they need to do. I mean, the head coach, he's got direct access.
That's tremendous. What to do in retirement, I guess you can email him now, right? Relax, enjoy yourself, Coach Kidd. A great career. Chris Collins, the game's only touchdown. Second half is straight ahead.
Get on up, get on up, get up, get on up. Hit me now. Come on now. Stay on the scene like a sex machine. Hit it now. Right on, right on, right on.
Happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
There's something I gotta do.
Oh, yeah? What?
I love this woman! I love her!
What are you doing? Stop!
Okay, then I guess this will have to do.
Oh, my God. I love this man. I love him, I love him, I love him.
All tires are on sale this Friday and Saturday starting at 6 a.m. only at Sears, America's #1 tire store. Sears Warehouse.
Buy any Olympus digital camera, and you'll get the most realistic digital images yet. And for a limited time, a $75 rebate on select Epson stylus photo printers. Go to olympus.com/promotions for details. Olympus, nothing's impossible.
Mississippi State research in engineering, agriculture, and other fields is breaking new ground. The Engineering Research Center is a leader in high-performance computing for design applications and the 10th most powerful supercomputing site on a U.S. campus. Automotive engineering is the focus of a new center for advanced vehicular systems. In the nation's 5th largest program of agricultural research, scientists are developing new varieties of catfish, cotton, and other crops. Mississippi State, providing leadership for the 21st century.
Happy Thanksgiving Egg Style, the 2002 Egg Bowl. Ole Miss leading Mississippi State 7-3. Again, the Rebels need to win to get to a bowl as Eli Manning tries to get that arm warm before the second half. Only 21 plays run by Ole Miss in that first half, yet they lead. Mike Tirico, Lee Corso, Kirk Herb. It's cold, guys.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, tough guy over here.
Bad.
Feeling good.
That's
He got
Ohio
cold,
guy.
man.
Ohio. He's got long
Syracuse.
underwear on.
I know.
I'll tell you what.
Go ahead, talk, please.
Be careful, Jackie Sherrill's team, when they punt it. This guy, Armstead, has been... That's one big thing they've got to work on is their punt coverage, Mississippi State.
Well, Ole Miss has given up some yardage between the 20s, but they put the clamps down when Mississippi State is driven into their territory. And I think in the second half, I think Ole Miss, they need to get their running game going. Tremayne Turner, you know, he's not had many opportunities tonight, but against Mississippi State, I think the best way to attack them is try to hit the fade route against man coverage and then run the football against them.
Second half kickoff coming from Brent Smith. Collins and Armstead await. They try to kick it away from Armstead. It goes out of bounds, so the 35-yard line is where the drive will start for Ole Miss. The impact of the return game felt there. 2-to-1 the ratio in plays, 2-to-1 the ratio on the bottom line time of possession. The big difference in the hidden yardage, the return yardage. Mississippi State's had success on third down. Remember, early they were about 5 of 6 converting third downs, and several of those were third and long.
If you'd add the 15 yards more on this kickoff return, normally you get it to the 20. This is 35. That's 115 yards of return yardage. Wow.
And remember, Lee, Armstead had a long punt return brought back at the end of the half for a push in the back. So he has been a game changer for David Cutcliffe's team tonight. Turner and Rosano are the running backs. Play action by Eli, a first down throw. Incomplete behind Bill Flowers. Here's Dr. Jerry Clinch with the halftime story.
Guys, halftime in the Bulldog locker room, Jackie Sherrill. Let me start with the special teams. He talked about the fact he was concerned about their gunners being held on the punt team. They're going to change their punt coverage and go more to a directional punt. Offensively, they want to establish a run in the second half, control the football and the clock, and get some points. Defensively,
They made some adjustments. Number one focus in the second half, get the quarterback. Defensive ends get to Eli Manning here early in the second half.
Eli Manning has not been sacked tonight, Doc. That's why the change of focus towards Sanford. Seniors in the game. Blocking for Eli, who scrambles out of trouble. Throws on the run incomplete. Intended for Mike Eskin. Well, in addition to the no sacks by Mississippi State of Eli Manning, it's something that opponents have become very accustomed to when they go up against Ole Miss. Eli has been sacked 13 times this year. That's tied for the best in the Southeastern Conference.
You can see he mentioned to Belton Johnson there, number 58, his right tackle. Hey, Belton, you got to kick out there to pick up that blitzing linebacker from the outside. Help me out.
Speaking of sacks, they've only been sacked 46 times in the last 4 years. That's the best in the SEC.
3rd and 10 coming up.
Got a freebie here.
Yep, the flag down, tries the ball for SB. Almost intercepted by Kohler's. Had a very good night, but a marker is down.
Manning's pass complete. Penalty marker is down on the field.
Let's go check Shaw's call.
Offside, under defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Steve, our referee here tonight. So a 3rd and 5.
Might be a case here where Lee talks about this all the time, and quarterbacks are taught this very early age about using your snap count. Mississippi State right now is sitting on the snap count, and they're jumping it. Previous snap, you could see they were moving before the offensive line, and in that time, they jumped it just a hair early.
Sanford in the game, the lone back, 4 receivers. Mississippi State brings a half dozen with pressure. The hot route to Kerry Johnson. First down, Ole Miss. A little rub of the face by Goler on the way off the pile. So the sophomore from here in Oxford gets catch 11 on the season. And that 5-yard penalty may have cost Mississippi State a chance to get their hands on the ball.
Gain is to the 47-yard line. First down, Ole Miss.
Two defensive linemen, second time we've seen that tonight.
You got to be able to run the football against that defensive front.
And he pressured, intercepted on the sideline. Kevin Dockery, the freshman right here in Mississippi. Hernando comes up with the INT. So 2 down means confusion behind. And Eli's intercepted for the 14th time this year.
Eli this time looks like he gets confused, and he's rolling out, and he's trying to get rid of the ball almost to the outside and throw it away, Kirk. I can't believe that he was throwing that ball to a receiver. What do you think?
Well, I think Collins and Eli, Collins looked back at Eli, and then as soon as he started to go upfield, Eli thought he was going to settle right there, and it was just a miscommunication.
Right.
Almost like Collins thought he was going to run, and he was going to start heading down to the block, didn't it? Golden opportunity for the Bulldogs. In the 43, Justin Griffith gets 3 running right side to the 40-yard line.
You know, a lot of times quarterbacks get all the blame for interceptions, but a lot of the times it's miscommunication with the receivers. That time, I think Manning thought the receiver was going to come back. The receiver didn't come back. He threw to a spot, boom, interception.
Ole Miss defensive lineman was shaken up on that play. Training staff out to give him a peek. We'll wait to check the number for you. There was Yardage Johnson, senior out of Atlanta. As they look at Johnson, playing his final game in the regular season. He hopes to have another postseason game. If they win tonight, they go to a bowl. We'll take a timeout as they tend to the injured player.
I cannot believe this present. It's so cool. It's the best gift ever. That's basically the reaction I want from my whole family.
We've got lots of gifts that'll do that.
Let's start with the kids.
Bring your list. With CDs, games, DVDs, and more, we've got the gifts electronics lovers will love. And tons for under $50. Circuit City, we're with you.
Wow, great gift.
Exactly. exactly.
How do you get more from cordless? More. With built-in work lights for more visibility, wraparound grips for more control, and more capability than ever, thanks to innovative onboard accessories, like the first cordless drill with a built-in stud finder. At Skill, we share your passion for home improvement, which is why we've challenged ourselves to give you more in every cordless tool we build. The all-new cordless power tools from Skill. They're what's next.
What does this boyfriend of yours do?
I'm a businessman.
They've wanted to turn street money into smart money.
I got this investment opportunity. There's this white guy, the hottest cat on Wall Street.
I didn't know you were going to bring it to me all in cash.
It's a cash business.
But they trusted the wrong man.
Hey, babe, he took the money.
On December 6th,
He pushed me to the hole.
two worlds
Go back to your getup.
collide. Empire, rated R.
There is a start. There is a finish. And in the journey between, there are dreams. The NCAA Hall of Champions keeps these dreams alive for you. More than a museum, the NCAA Hall of Champions takes you on an interactive journey. Relive some of the most inspirational moments in collegiate sports history and walk in the steps of a student athlete. At the NCAA Hall of Champions, you'll find something for every fan. Discover what it means to be a champion. The journey begins inside.
Oh, glad to tell you, Yard Johnson jogged slowly off the field, walking under his own power after being down for a moment or so. There he is, 98, going for the tackler, Griffith, and then found the back of Donald Lee, the big tight end, and went down in a heap. It was a scary look at an injury. Fortunately, Johnson walked off without assistance. Replaced in the lineup by redshirt freshman McKinley Boykin, number 68. After a gain of 2, it's 2nd and 8. Kevin Fant's play action pass to the tight end Lee. All the timing of that play thrown off because of the pressure from Charlie Anderson. Down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, if you don't believe this Egg Bowl is a hard-hitting rival, let me show you Justin Griffin's helmet from the first half. Take a look. This helmet split in 4 or 5 different areas. That is a helmet that's brand new. In fact, it only had 2 games on it. Justin Griffin wore this in the first half there. Take a look at the top of the helmet, split all the way across. Phil Silva, the equipment guy at Mississippi State, says in his 20 years, he has never, ever seen a helmet split like that. Obviously, an incredible lick for that fullback, 31, Justin Griffin.
Also, it's good to see him back in there carrying the ball. 3rd and 8, might be blocking here. He releases as Fant throws. Complete to Bivens. First down at the 27-yard line. 13-yard completion. Kevin Fant has been very good throwing on 3rd down tonight.
Well, Hutchins and all the Ole Miss defensive backs sitting back on 3rd and long. A little bit surprising that they wouldn't give up, at least come up a little bit closer to take away the easy throw underneath. 3rd and 8. Kevin Fant drops back and finds Bivens. 1st and 10. Pretty simple when you sit back in coverage like that.
Good look at a confident quarterback. You can see from that shot, ball was in the air before the receiver made his break to the sideline. Fant just over 50% throwing tonight. Ole Miss showing a lot of looks. 4 in the pattern. Coming back to the ball again is Bivens. This time he's wrapped up by Travis Johnson. Eric Oliver.
One of the things they've gone to, looks like at halftime, is to go back to the quick drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, set, boom, throw the ball out to the wideouts. And I like this strategy because what they're doing is they're driving the receivers deep and then coming back, and he's getting ready, the ball out of his hands, so there's no negative yardage, Kirk, and that's so important on drives like this.
Especially when they're throwing from the pocket. He's getting back, it's 3-step, 5-step drop and firing it out. And Ole Miss now they're adjusting and putting their corners a little bit tighter to the line of scrimmage.
Darius Tubbs, the receiver, in motion. Fant throws underneath for Tubbs, who made a very nice catch at the 17-yard line. Slightly behind him, able to corral it. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Darius Tubbs has kept a couple of drives alive tonight.
Now, as you're calling plays like now's a perfect time to hit old Justin Griffin with a nice draw play or something, because they're starting to come, and if you can split that blitz, boom, right now is a time where Griffin can go all the way for a touchdown if they get the right kind of defense.
And Sparky Woods, the offensive coordinator for Mississippi State. I know they have 3 points, but they've been moving the football up and down the field. It's just that when they've gotten into Ole Miss territory, they've not been able to put 6 points up.
There is Griffith Lee, and a 10 powers forward, first and goal at the 5. A marker's down at the line of scrimmage. But Justin Griffith with a big dozen-yard carry there. We'll check the hanky first. Ole Miss indicating that it's against the Bulldogs.
It looked like it was the man in motion was moving forward.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Side judge comes over with an explanation for Jackie Sherrill.
Lee, you and Sparky Woods on the same page there, seeing a defense that's shooting and trying to get upfield to try to slow down this Mississippi State offense, and a quick hitter there that opened up like the Red Sea, and a lot of yards there for Griffith.
That's really like a 17-yard penalty. Instead of first and goal at the 5, first and 15 at the 22. Try Griffith again. He got most of the penalty yardage back. We'll have second down coming up for Mississippi State. Jerry?
Mike, good news from the Ole Miss bench. Garrick Johnson just dazed a little bit on the field a moment ago. 98 came to the sidelines. Neurologic examination is normal. He should be back in the ballgame probably as early as the next series.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Johnson and Mitchell inside. Jesse Mitchell have been stout. Mississippi State has run the ball 26 times, but only for 44 yards. Certainly the 3 sacks that Ole Miss has contributed to that. They have 3 sacks for 26 yards tonight. Second and 10. Fat will throw. Hopes to throw. He's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be officially no gain. There's Charlie Anderson. Who came into the game tied for the team lead in sacks.
Now, this is one of the times, if I was Sparky Woods, that I roll the quarterback out. And the reason I would do that is I don't want to get negative yardage, so at least I can get a field goal within distance of my kicker. As you understand, Kirk, if he gets a sack, it's a lot tougher field goal. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. And we've seen the quickness of Ole Miss's defensive line and linebackers has just been too much for Mississippi State. They have a size advantage when it comes to run blocking, but when it comes to pass protection, they can't handle.
State timeout. Be right back.
If you fill up on one thing this Thanksgiving, make sure it's from our buy one, get one half off sale.
At every Foot Locker, Lady Foot Locker, and Kids Foot Locker.
This sale is better than back-to-back football games. Buy anything you want, even stuff already on sale, and get the second item for half off. So hurry in today to the buy one, get one half off sale at Foot Locker, Lady Foot Locker, and Kids Foot Locker. Just remember, it's going on now. With savings and selections this big, it's more than a sale. It's an event, and we'll give you a reason to celebrate, because this is the one sale to be thankful for.
Mississippi has history, antiques, and year-round golf. A weekend has 2 days. Mississippi has woods, water, and wildlife. A weekend has 2 days. Mississippi has resorts, beaches, the blues. Hey, is there any law that says a weekend has to have just 2 days? Nah. So call 1-866-C-MISS and plan a long weekend. Mississippi feels like coming home. As Paul Bear Bryant.
I will not lose.
The Junction Boys. Saturday, December 14th, 9 p.m. on ESPN.
ESPN College Football Thursday night. Presented by Circuit City. Brought to you by Foot Locker, your holiday shopping destination. And by the Mississippi Development Authority Tourism Division.
back in Oxford, 3rd and 10 for Mississippi State, trailing the 2002 Egg Bowl by 4. Griffith is the lone back. Tubbs in motion. Kevin Fant's throw to Tubbs is intercepted by Hutchins. He took it away. Vaughn Hutchins is 5th INT of the season. Quite a job by Hutchins, starting his 2nd game at corner after starting 7 games earlier this season at safety.
You're going to get a great look at this. Surprise, they decided to sit him in a pocket. The pressure was there. Tubbs, who wants the football? Who wants the football? Hutchins takes it away from Tubbs.
But the reason why that was an interception is Fant threw the ball on the wrong side of the receiver. Should always throw the ball on the outside of the receiver, away from the defender.
I don't know if he has possession before he's out of bounds. That is really close. Ronald McClendon to the 19-yard line. He picked up 5 yards. That is a very tough, close, bang-bang call. You have to have complete possession, then 1 foot in bounds. They're fighting for it all the way here. He makes the steal, but does he ever get a foot in bounds? And that left foot looked to be down before the right. And that is...
Good look at it here. He's got it. He's got the right foot down.
Close.
I think he got the right foot down. I agree. He needs to throw the football towards the boundary, but still, the fact that Tubbs had 2 hands on the ball, you got to fight for that football.
2nd and a long for McClendon again. Gains a couple of yards. They turn to the junior from Louisiana. They have been in search of a run game all year. I'll give you a perfect example. Kirk mentioned the name Robert Williams earlier, injured then suspended from this team a couple of weeks ago. Robert Williams has 307 rushing yards, and coming into tonight, he was still the leading rusher on the team. It's an idea how much Ole Miss has struggled running the ball. With those 2 carries, McClendon has gone past that total for the season.
Ole Miss had just over 1,000 yards rushing as a team. Most of the SEC got a tailback that runs 1,000 yards.
That's exactly right. 3rd and a yard. Quick throw for it. Lot of room. Chris Collins off to the races. It's a race he usually wins, and he does here. Touchdown. What a turn of events. 3rd and 1 in field goal range. 7 points the other way. 77-yard grab for Chris Collins. Eli Manning's 51st career touchdown pass. Collins sets the single season and the all-time record for Ole Miss touchdowns. 3rd longest pass reception of the year for the junior.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Turkey Day traditions in Motown and Big D. The Mavs on pace for history. Turmoil in Tucson, is that history? Plus, what's on our Thanksgiving table? SportsCenter after the game on ESPN.
Before this family of spies can save the world,
Don't shoot!
they've got to save themselves from each other.
If you're attempting to sabotage us, I'll blow your head off myself.
Alias. Operation Peacekeeper. A new episode Sunday on ABC.
If your employees operate heavy equipment or handle detailed information, they need steady hands and a clear mind. But if substance abuse is affecting your bottom line, you need the services of MEA Drug Testing Consortium. With numerous SAMHSA-approved collection sites statewide, MEA DTC offers prompt testing and timely test results. We'll even come to you. Steady hands, clear minds, productive employees. At MEA Drug Testing Consortium, we know when it comes to your business, drug testing is good business.
Waste thousands on your next car purchase. Gray Daniels Hyundai has the best selection and the lowest payments. Here's just a sample. Hyundai Accent with stereo cassette and more, just $99 a month or $78.95. Hyundai Elantra, power windows, locks, and mirrors, plus stereo cassette, just $169 a month or $11,899. All this and America's best warranty, the Hyundai Advantage. When you get everything you want, you win. Gray Daniels Hyundai, South Jackson.
touchdown passes. Eli Manning to Chris Collins. 25 in the second quarter. 77 here in the third. And the Rebels, who must win to keep their season going, extend to an 11-point advantage. The Rodgers out of Meridian, Mississippi, bounces it to Jarius Norwood from the 1. It's got a bounds at the 25 by Chris Knight, backup defensive back.
Mississippi State walked everybody up to the line of scrimmage, including the free safety freshman Darren Williams. They're going to bite on the play action, which is going to give a nice seam right behind that. Great call here on 3rd and short. Just a little bit of action. Look at this vacancy and look at the freshman bleeding up and leaving that. You need a great throw right on the money. And that's a freshman corner in Kevin Dockery. 2 freshmen there that Eli Manning went after, and it worked out perfectly for Ole Miss.
Dockery got caught peeking. He's played really well this year, but got beat by one of the better ones, Eli Manning and Chris Collins. Now this Mississippi State offense that has moved it needs some production. Fat long throw to Bivens, 14 first down yards at the 39. Ray's been busy tonight. His 4th grab, over 50 yards.
All right, on the 3rd and 1, I believe this was an automatic because the blocking was perfect, and what Collins did is he faked to the outside, got Dockery moving to the outside and run the post. The protection was so perfect, it had to be, in my mind, an automatic, because you call a 3rd and 1 call like that, and you don't get protection like that. That was perfect by Eli Manning. Wonderful call on the line of scrimmage.
Chris Collins has set that record. He has another year of eligibility. He's a junior. First down from the 39. Fant loads. He's trying for the big ball and has Bivens at the 20-yard line. Ray Bivens beat Travis Johnson, a redshirt freshman. They're back in position to score again. Now they almost have to get one.
Now they beat Travis Johnson, and Chuck Dreisbach told us he's one of the best football players he has as a freshman defensive back. But this time, Ray just runs right by him. That was the best pass I've seen Fant throw with his feet set, Kirk. That's why he got the ball out there.
Set his feet and made the throw. Nice. But for a young freshman, Travis Johnson, not only you have to find the football, but you have to be able to go up and try to make a play on it there. He slipped, lost his balance. Lucky that Bivens didn't take that to the house.
And off to Fred Reed. Sprints from the 10 inside the 7. Going to mark him out at the 6. Oh, no, going to mark him out back at the 8, excuse me. But still, it's 1st and goal. Reed, a sophomore out of Tampa, who had 7 games in his high school career over 200 yards.
That's Mississippi State football. You're coming out against man coverage. You find a big play downfield. You're attacking. You're aggressive. Come back. You soften them up. You have a big advantage up front with the offensive line. Then you get physical with that offensive line.
Now, I'm telling you, first, Sparky Woods, don't set up a field goal. You score down and get yourself a touchdown. You need to get a touchdown, get this crowd out of the game.
Over 60,000 on hand in Oxford here tonight. Toss Reed, the block by Darnell Jones. 33 tries to lead the way, but the other 33, Ryan Hamilton in blue, said no.
About the board.
Senior out of Miami, Florida, 3-time starter this year. He's so banged up at linebacker with Eddie Strong hurt for a good part of the year. And Lanier Gothi, who would have been a starter for most of the year, broke a bone in his left foot against Vanderbilt, as Hamilton and L.P. Spence have had to start a few times this year.
This is where it's fun to listen to the pads pop in a rivalry game down inside his 5-yard line. He's got one-on-one coverage on the outside if he wants to try to hit it.
Looking that way, throwing that way, deflected, and it is complete. Hutchins almost had the interception on the pass intended for Darius Tubbs.
With the one back, when I saw him looking out there, I figured, you know what? I think he sees that one-on-one coverage out there. And,
oh, no.
You know, he's taking a chance. The ball's deflected. Actually, he's lucky it got deflected because Hutchins had perfect leverage on the wide receiver.
3rd and 5. Listen to the fans. T. Millens, incomplete. Hutchins on the coverage. Try to kick a field goal here, get within 1 possession or 8 points.
I don't blame you, Jackie. I tell him the same thing. We're down on the 5-yard line, and we ain't got enough nerve to stuck it up their butt and get in there. I'm telling you, you don't deserve to win if you can't stick it in there in a game like this. Egg Bowl, bucket game, Ohio State, Michigan.
Tough angle, 22-yarder. Tough angle, but got it through. And Brent Smith with a snap hook that would be out of bounds. Would win another 100 yards. 14-6, 1 possession game.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea for Men, or Evolve Skincare.
You have done me a great injustice, Johnny. This is not fit for a man. New Blistex Clear Advance. For men, Johnny. For men. It's shine-free with tough protection, and I know about protection. New Blistex Clear Advance. For men.
Cavett Pinot Noir from the Cavett collection. Make it interesting. Cavett Pinot Grigio from the Cavett collection. Make it interesting.
It's not just a new way of listening to radio. It's a new way of looking at it. Introducing the Delphi XM satellite radio. Its advanced display can browse 100 XM channels by category, song, or artist. Its compact design connects easily to existing home or car stereos. And at under $200, it's a perfect gift. The Delphi XM Sky-Fi radio. The newest way to get XM satellite radio. For the road, for the home, for the holidays.
The field goal wasn't pretty, but it did get through, leading by 8. Brings back to mind one of the great moments in this rivalry. You want to see wind. Watch this field goal. Artie Crosby to win the game in '83. It hit a wall of wind and came back. Ole Miss won that game and got to a bowl. It's called the Immaculate Deflection, part of this Egg Bowl rivalry. That's the wind that when you win the toss in overtime, you decide to pick the side of the field. Not a little 15-mile-an-hour Chicago little blowy wind, that kind of wind.
Who did that?
What are you talking about?
I have no idea.
What are you talking about?
I have no idea.
Sounds like a personal issue.
I think so.
No, just reporting the facts, boys.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Jason Armstead from the 14. A little shorter kick, better opportunity to cover the 31, ridden out of bounds. Be careful. Here comes the flag. Some more over on the Ole Miss sideline.
Can always count on that.
Yep, there's always one in these games, and now that it's getting a little testy. After Slovakia, Griffith was in there to make the tackle. I did see one flag come in on the sideline. I'm pretty sure that was not thrown in error. I'm going to hand this one out now. One foul. They got that down.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Gets the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
This is always the third man in or last one to get caught. One or the other.
Right there. That's probably what they called right there. Even though Armstead started it, boom, right in the head, stiff arm. Then he gives him, that little push there. And that's when the flag came in, actually. Right after Griffith gave him the extra little jolt there, about 8 yards out of bounds.
This is the second most played rivalry in the SEC. Only Auburn and Georgia have met more. 16th longest rivalry in the country. 75th time that this has been called the Egg Bowl. In 1926, after Ole Miss broke a 14-game losing streak, the celebrating fans tore down the goalpost. It's not just a current problem. This problem's been around for 3/4 of a century. So what they do to prevent future melees, both schools agreed the winner's going to get a trophy. It's a regulation-sized gold football. Manning first down, wants it all for Collins. Flat. receiver's path to the ball. 3 flags came down on that one.
Well, you know what? Darren Williams and Kevin Dockery are both freshmen. Yep. Both giving up big plays right here for Mississippi
Pass
State.
interference on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot.
The last 2 plays, they've attacked the freshman. It's almost like they've been waiting for the right time to go after him. He gets him again on the stem to the post. Boy, there's no such thing as face guarding in college football, but still, you've got to make an attempt to at least look back.
Look back. It's a key point.
Oh, yeah, once you get his hands on it, as he's trying to come back for the ball, you don't have to worry about the face guarded part. It's only 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. First down run with Ronald McClendon gets him 6. Mississippi State penalized 30 yards on back-to-back plays, 40 yards in this quarter. And if you're just joining us, the big picture story tonight, Jackie Sherrill's team has run twice as many plays as Ole Miss, but they've had 7 possessions, 6 trips into the Ole Miss territory, only 6 points to show for it. Wow. Can't be on their end of the world 6 times and only have 6 points. There's the fullback, Rosano, kid out of Ohio. Just a yard shy of the first down for Rick. We are in northern Mississippi on the beautiful Ole Miss campus in Oxford. Over 60,000 on hand in this newly expanded stadium. That whole side you see to the right there was added this year. Club level suites that all sold out as soon as they opened. This is a very nice stadium. Great setting. 3rd and 3. First down awaits at the yellow line right over the 30. Mississippi State brings 4. Manning has time, but not the connection with Armstead. They have been about a half beat off all night. From here, the field goal is 49 yards. Minimal wind. Gonna go for it.
Eli's not the kind of guy that's going to put the blame on his elbow, but some of the throws that we've seen from him tonight are very unlike Eli Manning. That's a throw that he makes 9 times out of 10. I'm sure that ulnar nerve of his is really hampering his throwing tonight.
Joe Lee Dunn's defense trying to get Ole Miss off the field. 4th down. Throw. First down. That time Armstead connects at the 29.
That was a big league throw because of the fact he went 3 steps back, and now watch the ball, and he throws the ball on a line out there. That was a very important pass because that gives them the ability to continue moving the ball towards that field goal, if nothing else.
1st and 10 from the 29. Rebels lead by 8. Quick passing game covered for Espy. Take a shot down the field for Flowers, incomplete. Bill Flowers, the intended receiver. Those of you waking up from your nap after stuffing your face on Thanksgiving, Mississippi State a miscue here to start this 3rd quarter. Great play by Von Hutchins to come up with the interception. And then on 3rd and a short yard, the quick strike to Chris Collins, 2nd touchdown for the junior from Gloucester, Mississippi. About 2 out of every 3 players on the field is from this state. A very intense rivalry, and we've seen that with hard hitting throughout the night. 2nd and 10, a run play with McClendon. Ronald kept it alive and got out to the 27-yard line before the free safety Darren Williams and the left linebacker T.J. Mawhinney made the play. The SEC bowl picture is slightly muddled because of what happened with Alabama and Kentucky both being on probation. It's crystal clear in terms of results. Since Bama and Kentucky are bowl eligible but can't go because they're on NCAA probation, and South Carolina lost to Clemson, there's 1 spot left. If Ole Miss wins tonight, they're 6-6, and in this 12-game season, that's good enough to get you to a bowl. That's what they're playing for in the next 18 minutes and 52 seconds. Here comes all the Bulldogs. Manning throws, incomplete. Flag. contact before it came in. Tay Biddle, the intended receiver. Kevin Dockery, the freshman, picked on again. Jackie Sherrill says it was tipped, and the officials are discussing that. If it's deflected at the line of scrimmage, there is no pass interference.
Pass interference on the defense. Penalty will be enforced at the spot of the foul. It will be an automatic first down.
Dockery is shaken up.
Well, Jackie's talking about a deflection here, and watch it real closely. I'm watching it closely. No deflection. That was a good call by the official. They obviously don't think that Kevin Dockery can cover anything to the inside, because that's the second time they went after him. One time for about 78, and that one for a first down.
And now he's out of there with an injury. Doc will be all over that. Richard Ball, senior from San Antonio, Texas, comes in. Look how tight the fullback Rosano is to the quarterback Manning. Leading the way from McClendon. Plows forward toward the 11-yard line.
Down to the 12.
Second and short coming up. It's an offense that's been thrown off a little bit this year, as Lee and Kirk talked about on SportsCenter in the pregame, because of the injury to Doug Ziegler, the tight end. He was so much of a safety valve for Eli Manning. Eli's roommate broke his leg in the game against Vanderbilt. So it's been an offense that's just trying to find itself throughout the season. We'll take a big lead on this trip. McClendon forward. First and goal, Rebels at the 7. There's a little power football a couple of times here on this drive.
Think about David Cutcliffe over the years when he was an offensive coordinator at Tennessee. The offenses that he had, they were always physical, always about running the football first and then having a quarterback that could hurt you with great receivers. And in his first few years at Ole Miss, he had that combination. He had great running backs. He was able to call a game where he could count on the running game, and the teams tried to crash down on that. They had Romero Miller and Eli Manning now to be able to make teams pay for that, and they've been missing that physical attitude with that running game this year.
The yellow line showed you the first down right away. Our crew right on the spot with the line. Good job, guys.
And because of that, it really has affected Eli, because so much of David Cutcliffe's offense is off of play action. Think about Peyton Manning at Tennessee. How good was he at setting up everything?
Steps, fake to Travis
with the
Henry.
Play action thing. And Eli has the same mechanics, the play action, and relying on that running game to set up the pass.
Another run, same thing. McClendon. That time Mississippi State was wise to it. Gain of only a yard as Khalil Nash, 92, made the play.
Ball out the 8. Second down and goal to go.
Remember, Ole Miss couldn't sustain their drives early. Now they're doing a much better job. You'll see as we're prepared. Khalil Nash is from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. What the heck is he doing in this game? No Yankees in this game. Whistle. I don't know if anybody called for time or not. Check that out.
And a little equipment issue.
Equipment violation on the defense. Timeout, Mississippi State.
That hurts. That is number 2 now in this half.
Now down to just 1 timeout. I think it's been a frustrating season for them, or what? They lose a timeout there. Byron Leftwich running out of time to make Heisman impressions. The last one against Ball State coming up, or Alabama takes on Hawaii, and Hawaii's the ranked team after Auburn beat Alabama this week. That game from Hawaii at 7:45 Eastern, presented by the United States Postal Service. Part of our college football lineup. We'll also have Wake Forest, Maryland, Virginia Tech on ESPN on Saturday. You guys back in the studio this weekend?
Yeah, back in the studio.
Homecoming.
Home game.
Homecoming.
Second homecoming of the year. Lee and I again like to apologize to Tommy Tuberville and the Auburn Tigers for not only saying that Alabama would win, but emphatically saying that Alabama would win big over Auburn. And sure enough, watching that game, that's what makes rivalry week so special. Just when you think you've got a game figured out, Auburn goes out and just dominates the game.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Speaking of rivalry games, I guess this pecan pie, apple pie thing has caught on. And already rooting for Eli Manning to get the pie choice as the MVP of the game from you guys. Remember Scott Westerfield from Mississippi State.
Waited 2 years.
Yep, in '99, and he came back in '01 when we were in Starkville and said, Coach, where's the pie? You gave it to me. I never got any. One timeout now left for Mississippi State.
He likes to fade here.
Second and goal. Another run with McClendon. Ball came out and he got it back. Well, they're going to say now he's going to say he was down at the 3. The umpire was the one who was waiting to blow his whistle and determined that Ronald was down. Really close. Rosano leading the blocking. Power football, 4 consecutive plays. And Lee, this is a little bit what you were talking about.
Exactly, and I go again. I know if the fade looks good, I know the post looks good.
Ram it in there.
But I'm ramming in there, and if you don't get it, ram it in there again and put him to sleep. Don't let him hang around.
Empty McClendon out of there. Manning will throw. It's deflected and caught by Manning. Did he drop it for an incompletion? No, he had it when his knee came down. I think it's going to be a completion to Manning and down at the 9-yard line. Eli's so smart, he was trying to get rid of the ball, so it would be an incompletion and saved him 6 yards. But in fact, Michael Goller again came in with his big 6'5" body and made the deflection.
He's going to come right off the edge, and Eli is able to put the ball up in the air, but look at this, almost intercepted. And I think just quarterbacks are taught to knock it down, but when it happens that fast and there's a potential of an interception, you're just trying to get your hand on the ball.
From 27 yards, Jonathan Nichols gets it past that jump of Goller and makes it an 11-point game. Kid Goller's the impact guy on the special teams. So Nichols connects, and it's an 11-point Ole Miss lead, 17-6. It's 2002 Egg Bowl. We mentioned 99.
Yes.
When Jackie Sherrill's kicker Scott Westerfield was the hero. What a comeback. Wayne Matkin led it. C.J. Shimon, 38 yards to tie the game at 20. And a play we'll never forget. David Cutcliffe said he regretted this play. Eugene Clinton calls in the Robert Bean kick and sets up Westerfield on the very next play. And Mississippi State goes on to the 23-20 win, scoring 20 points in the final 27, or 10 points in the final 27 seconds.
The thing I'll never forget about that was when Eugene Clinton made the interception. He started to run it back all the way for a touchdown. Josh Morgan, the seasoned veteran, was yelling at him as he was running to get down, get out of bounds, because he knew that they might have one more shot at that field goal. And if Morgan didn't do that, chances are the clock would have expired.
That's right.
The thing I remember about that is the ball kicked. Remember, he kicked it in the air for the interception.
Yeah.
Jarius Norwood from the 2. Space on the sideline, popped down at the 34 by the starting strong safety, Matt Greer. Well, Mississippi State has played well this quarter, put themselves in position to do good things, but here's what's happened. The interception, they were in the red zone, 5 penalties for 50 yards, 30 of those penalty yards on that possession, and an equipment violation here with a chin strap issue. They lost a timeout, now down to 1 as they trail by 11.
So after 2 really good quarters as far as execution and making very few mistakes, the third quarter kind of symbolizes the way this season has gone for Mississippi State.
Yep. But they're still within striking distance.
Sure.
Even though they played an average or below average quarter.
Last time they had the ball, they moved right down the field within a couple minutes.
Kevin Fant looks for the safety valve. Norwood made one man miss, but his balance was thrown off. He got to the 35, just 1 yard, and that'll take us to the end of quarter number 3 here in Oxford. 60,245 are here. Largest on-campus crowd in the history of Mississippi State. 99th playing has 15 minutes left, and Ole Miss is 15 minutes away from the postseason. Thanks to a Von Hutchins interception and 77 yards Manning to Collins. Ole Miss by 11. We go to the 4th.
The Gospel, according to ESPN. Available now.
Because we can! Yes, we can! Everybody can! Yes, we can!
Navigator handsaw from Black & Decker.
Bond. James Bond.
007 Nightfire. Rated T for teen.
Happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah, happy anniversary.
There's something I gotta do.
Oh, yeah? What?
I love this woman! I love her!
What are you doing? Stop!
Okay, then I guess this will have to do.
Oh, my God. I love this man. I love him. I love him. I love him.
All tires are on sale this Friday and Saturday starting at 6 a.m. Only at Sears, America's #1 tire store. Sears, where else?
Intelligence is not limited to humans. Proof! Make a collect call, Mr. Frisky. Witness him dialing down the center at 1-800-CALLATT. Even he knows it's free for you and cheap for them. Come on. Huh?
Monkey always gets the girl.
Save on every call. Dial 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
Hope you're happy.
Off we go to the fourth quarter here on College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. Mississippi State has controlled the time of possession. Other stats leveling out, was one-sided for Mississippi State in the first quarter. Jarius Norwood running hard left side. He's going right around that first down marker, just a little shot. This also a team that has been in search of a go-to back offensively this year. And it's been strange for us to see that with Mississippi State over the last couple of years.
Yep.
Justin Griffith, the senior's been banged up. Turner, the freshman, has kicked off the team. A chain link shot.
3rd and 1.
Third down coming up as they get this all settled out. Why don't we visit with Jerry Punch?
Well, Michael, you mentioned in the first half, Kevin Fan has battled back from numerous injuries this year. That right ankle sprain, a contused Achilles tendon against Troy State back on October 12th. 3 weeks ago, a mild separation of his right shoulder against Tennessee. And last week at Arkansas, a hyperextended right knee. He's wearing a sleeve with a mild hinge underneath his knee pads on that right knee. They were concerned about his mobility tonight, but he's run pretty well. But obviously, he's had to battle back, showing a lot of courage this year. 3 significant injuries.
Jackie Sherrill, his coach, told him this week, Doc, hey, Kevin, I don't need a quarterback. I need a leader this week. Just do the little things. And he edges it out to get a first down there at the 45. Keep this drive going.
It was interesting. He said, you know, you're running downfield, you're diving for a first down, and then you walk back a little bit dinged up back into the huddle. I need my quarterback right now to sprint back into the huddle.
Penalty flag came in here very late in the untangling mode. So it's a little rivalry flag, perhaps. And the determination would have to be, is it a dead ball foul? If that is the case, the officials have done a very good job controlling the emotions of this game tonight with their flags.
Hasn't been too ugly tonight.
There were 2 fouls. Dead ball, personal foul on both the offense and the defense. They will offset. It will be 1st and 10.
It's 1st and 10 because it was a dead ball foul, and they'll replay the down with offsetting penalties. You know, Kevin Fant this summer had a chance to run into Eli Manning. Well, wait, before we go to the story, let me show you what's going on the field. This is a good job by the official, Steve Shaw. Steve Shaw is bringing together both teams.
He's putting an end to it right now.
That's great. See,
that's taking control.
I said right at the top when we saw Steve Shaw for the first call as one of the better officials in this league or in the country. This is a way you put it to a stop. Say, hey, no more.
Don't cost yourself a football game with a bad call.
And see a little sportsmanship from both sides up front. Very well done.
notice he did that before it got to the point of becoming emotional.
Yeah. You mentioned this.
Nice.
You mentioned this last week. We saw Ohio State, Michigan, one of the toughest games we've ever seen, but very clean.
Clean, hard-hitting game.
Clean,
very clean. Respect.
1st and 10 from the 45. Toss Norwood for that block, but Matt Greer, the safety, got off of Darnell Jones's block and made the play. Back to the story we were telling a play ago. Kevin Fant ran into Eli Manning this year, and Peyton and Archie, because the Mannings have a passing camp, and Kevin Fant was there as one of a bunch of college quarterbacks go there, and they get to do a little bit of work with Peyton and Archie, and also teach the younger kids. So they're kind of counselors, as many football camps, and it's kind of an odd situation because of the hatred and the rivalry, but they were able to enjoy each other's company that weekend. Fant's throw is caught in the air a long time, but Justin Jenkins came down with it at the 34-yard line. Took a shot as well, but a 20-yard pickup will move the chains.
Long throw there. I want you to see this one, sweetheart. Old Kevin Fant really took a shot on this one after he throws the football. Wow! That was a heck of a play by Fant.
He hung in there until the last possible second. And I think Jenkins took a shot himself.
Jenkins took the worst of it.
That was a courageous play by Kevin Fant.
That's what Jackie told him this week. Be a leader.
Yep.
You don't have a rifle arm, but he's been a maverick step away from the normal guys his whole career. Norwood went through the hole and got a first down. Good hard running here by this freshman, Jarius Norwood. 6 foot, $185 out of Brandon here in Mississippi.
He's just a slippery runner. He came into this game averaging over 6 yards a carry. Still a young back, and when you're playing in the SEC, it takes some time to learn how to be physical and elusive. You can see he's got all the goods to be a unique back in this conference. We keep talking about the SEC. You've got to be able to stop the run. You've got to be able to run the football. There's the future of Mississippi State.
He averaged 6.7 running against Arkansas. That was a football player.
From the 23, Fant looks to get closer. Touchdown, Ray Bivens. They'll go for 2 to try to get within 3. Fourth touchdown of the season for Bivens.
Kevin Fant looked to the left, just a little bit of a pump fake, and then came back, and he was in such rhythm there when he came back. The ball was thrown right over the right shoulder, away from the defender, where Bivens can only get his hands on the ball.
State has gone for 2 7 times this year. They've thrown all 7 times. 2 of 7 in 2-point conversion attempts. They throw for it again. This one never had a chance. Timing route with Jenkins, covered by Vaughn Hutchins. So the lead is 5. But Kevin Fant did throw his 10th touchdown pass on the season. After being in Ole Miss territory on 7 of 8 possessions, finally a touchdown to Ray Bivens.
Life is full of difficult choices, and some not so difficult. When you purchase an elegantly redesigned mid-size 2003 Saturn L Series, you can choose $2,500 toward your down payment. Or get 0% financing, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Unfortunately, this not-so-difficult choice ends January 2nd. Purchase a 2003 Saturn L Series and get $2,500 toward down payment, or 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payment for 90 days. See participating retailer for restrictions.
How good is your game plan? No matter what the conditions, Oppenheimer Funds has always believed in sticking to the fundamentals, a strategy that's proven itself time and time again. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
A-Cube technology from Adidas, exclusively at Champ Sports.
Just how deep is the new Chicago dish pizza from Pizza Hut?
With a pizza this deep, what more could you ask for? How about a deep discount on a second pizza? Now you can get any medium pizza for the unbelievable price of just $2.99 when you order the Chicago dish. That's just $2.99 for your old favorite when you buy your new favorite at Pizza Hut. Go deep.
Who are these guys? They're a team. Experienced professionals who work in sync. This team approach is how Oppenheimer Funds delivers solid long-term performance under all conditions. Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Look at it. Hang on there, fella.
Hold on.
Hang on, fella. There you go. Okay, I was worried there for a second. Fant had a very good drive. 43 of the 66 yards through the air. The touchdown to Bivens. 5-point game. Here's Armstead, the very good kick returner for Ole Miss from the 1. Takes the Collins block and well covered by Mississippi State at the 28-yard line. Some big collisions happening there. Robert Spivey made the tackle.
With his team trailing by 11 in the fourth quarter, Kevin Fant had to step up and make some plays. That's the throw, taking a hit, completes it downfield to keep the drive alive, and he felt that one, came back, kind of a look off to the left, and a perfectly thrown ball right over the outside shoulder of Ray Bivens for the touchdown. And Kevin Fant keeping his team in his football game, now only down 5 with plenty of time left.
Eli Manning to work from the 29. It's that two-man front once again. Pitches it out. Complete to Kerry Johnson. Second grab for number 2. Out to the 34. You know, there's a conversation earlier this week. Is this Eli Manning's last SEC game, his last game in Oxford? A junior, the conversation of possibly coming out early for the NFL draft. It's certainly not something that sounds like it's anywhere near the decision point. Whether you talk to Eli or you talk to Archie, the season's so compressed here at the end, it's not something they've talked about yet. Manning's throw is complete to Espy. Tons of room for Mike Espy. Across midfield, and he has a first down. 16-yard gain on the play.
What Manning does in this position, he sees the blitz coming and he immediately hits the hot man. A hot man means there's an area wide open. You notice the linebackers came, but the hot area is where the linebackers left, and he hits it perfectly. That time, that was a beautiful play by Manning. This is the kind of drive that makes legendary quarterbacks at Ole Miss, when you can answer and go ahead.
In this game.
In this game, right here.
Into Bulldog territory again. Big opening for Ronald McClendon. First down to the 37-yard line. McClendon has really added some starch to this run game.
I was going to say, McClendon, since he's been in here in the second half, he's given his offense a spark. He's not a huge back, but he's got enough strength that he comes in right, he shoots right through the hole with some authority. And I think he's given this this offense and this running game a little bit of a lift here.
Trey Stallings, the left tackle, shaken up. McClendon, 9 carries, 40 yards, all in this second half. Can't add to it there. Subtract from it, actually, as Mawhinney and Clark got in there. Jason Clark, the left end, out of Starkville, joined TJ, the junior from Louisiana.
They just collapsed that from the outside. Both guys coming from the outside. Took it away.
There's Joe Lee done.
Let's take a look. See if he's got socks on. I say no. I say yes. I say yes.
Can't tell.
Yeah, he has them on. It's too cold.
Can't tell.
It's too cold.
Joe Lee, lifer in the SEC, longtime defensive coordinator at Ole Miss as well. Was an interim head coach for the Rebels for a year. Manning's pass is high, but hung on to by Collins, who jolts his body forward to the 33. We'll have 3rd and 5 coming up. Jolie, age 56, one of the great characters around the game. He's a head coach in New Mexico. He's been a defensive coordinator for 2 decades. 94 was the year he was the interim head coach at Ole Miss, and then the Tuberville staff came in. He went over to Mississippi State and has been with Jackie the last 7.
Notice all those fancy charts he's got, and I'll bet you $1 he doesn't have socks. He has socks.
You're going socks?
Yeah, because it's too cold.
Okay. That's against his trademark.
Yeah, but that's all right. This is the Egg Bowl, and it's cold.
first down and waits at the 28.
Man coverage here.
Manning looking that way. Deflected and incomplete. So the hand up gets the job done that time. Slovakia Griffith flagged earlier. Provided some of the pressure. Mawini and company in coverage. 4th and 5 at the 33. Field goal here is 51 yards.
No field goal, Mike. They'll block it again.
I understand.
Punt it.
Boy, Joe Lee Dunn, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He'll just keep coming after you. Doesn't care. That's my philosophy. What are you saying? I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
He's just going to keep coming. Oh, boy, I'm going to kick this.
Okay.
It's a pooch. It's going to be a snap to the place kicker.
Good call.
He's going to pooch it.
Jonathan Nichols' career long is 50 against Arkansas State. This is 51. Look for Goller jumping up high in the middle if it is a field goal attempt. Right to
good call.
The kicker.
Good call, Kirk.
And they'll get him down.
Smart.
To the 10. See, it's all that film he watched while he was getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner, you know?
Nice call, Kirk.
It's a big game. It's the Egg Bowl.
First one you've had in 2 years.
Life is full of difficult choices, and some not so difficult. When you purchase an elegantly redesigned mid-size 2003 Saturn L Series, you can choose $2,500 toward your down payment. Or get 0% financing, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Unfortunately, this not-so-difficult choice ends January 2nd. Purchase a 2003 Saturn L Series and get $2,500 toward down payment, or 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payment for 90 days. See participating retailer for restrictions.
Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Mark O'Meara, Fred Couples in a Thanksgiving weekend classic. The ConAgra Foods Skins Game begins Saturday on ABC.
Yeah, I have acid reflux disease. I still get a little heartburn, but it's nothing serious.
Even if you have just a little heartburn from acid reflux disease, you could have serious damage to your esophagus. What do you do? Call this number now or ask your doctor about a medicine that can stop the heartburn and start the healing. Don't wait to get serious about your heartburn. Call toll-free 800-498-9858.
Indy Racing League driver Sarah Fisher is used to a certain level of performance and safety for everything she drives. That's why she chooses Smart Blade premium wiper blades constructed with Duotech Plus dual rubber technology from Valio for superior wiping quality and long-lasting durability. And Smart Blade is the only wiper blade with a brain. Its patented wear indicator will actually tell you when it's time to change your blades. When it's time for your next pit stop, look for the revolutionary new Smart Blade at these fine retailers.
Smart Blade. Isn't it time for a change?
ESPN College Football Thursday night, presented by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. And in part by Saturn, makers of the View, redesigned L Series, and the all-new Ion.
City Hall, downtown Oxford, this charming, quaint southern city. Our pal Ron Franklin, one of the proud Ole Miss alums. Ron and Mike out in Hawaii with Adrian Karsten for the Alabama-Hawaii game that you'll see on ESPN Saturday night. 1st and 10 from the 11. Mississippi State down 5. Stant fakes the screen to the right, tries to get it to Lee, the tight end, on the left. A nice job to just thrust his body forward to the 15. A reminder that as soon as we are done, the highlights of the day in football, the Mavericks looking to stay perfect, and much more on SportsCenter coming up next. I believe we'll be on ESPN News for a post-game extra. For those of you who are looking forward to that.
I am.
See that big story there. Michael Jordan will retire after the season and retain partial ownership of the Wizards. That'll be the lead story on the show tonight. The run for Griffith gets him out to the 16-yard line. So we'll have a big 3rd and 5 coming up for Mississippi State. They beat Jacksonville State, Troy State, and Memphis. Haven't won an SEC game.
They're fighting like crazy tonight to get there first. Yep.
It wouldn't save their season, but it would make their offseason a lot sweeter to keep Ole Miss, their hated rival, out of a bowl game. 8 of 15 on third down tonight. Fant feels the pressure, puts it up for Bivens, who couldn't hang on. Von Hutchins was with Ray Bivens. Just couldn't squeeze it. Yeah, they're going to have to punt. Jackie running down for the explanation why no pass interference.
A little bit of push in there, but both ways. It wasn't just on Hutchins. Bivens did a little bit of pushing himself.
Yeah, but this is dangerous right now. Oh, yeah.
They are so afraid of kicking to Armstead. They try to go directional kick. A marker's down, as at least they mute a return, and the ball is stopped at the 45.
Yeah. The best net they probably had all night.
It is.
39-yard kick. Check the flag here. It was with the gunner on the left. Somebody being held.
During the kick, holding on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st and 10.
So they were trying to stop the Gunners on the way down. We were talking about the NBA a moment ago on ESPN. We have NBA Friday coming your way tomorrow night on the network. It starts with NBA shoot-around at 7:30. Then the Raptors take on Paul Pierce and the Celtics, and Yao Ming in Houston in the Great Northwest to take on Gary Payton in Seattle. NBA Friday on ESPN starts with Kevin Frazier and Tim Hardaway. NBA shoot-around at 7:30 Eastern.
After what, a couple weeks into the NBA, 2 or 3 weeks.
Month in.
What do you give me your surprise team? Who's going to be a team that might make a run here?
Surprise team? Oh, the Pacers. Surprising how good their start is without Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Ron Artest really coming on. The trade from the Bulls. East is better than I think people thought coming in. First down run for Tremayne Turner back in the game after McClendon has given them something. And he gets a first down at the 46-yard line. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, Mario Hagan, big number 98, the senior right linebacker for Mississippi State, in an impassioned speech to his teammates on the bench. I quote, "I don't get another chance, guys, to play Ole Miss. Please give me this one. Let's do what we have to do to stop these guys. We can stop them. I want this football game. I don't get any more shots. We got to be home for Christmas. Let's keep these guys home, too. Let them watch the bowl games like we'll be watching them."
Good stuff, Jerry. 4 tackles tonight has moved Hagan into 8th all-time Mississippi State history. Rosano, the fullback, goes for a yard or 2. Ronald Fields, who got the start, one of the defensive tackle spots, made the play.
And when Mario Hagan makes that kind of statement to this team that's out there with him, I mean, he's talking to a lot of underclassmen. Take Josh Morgan out, who's a senior. He's got Corey Banks, who's a senior. Goler, who's just coming in playing his first year, and Mario Hagan. I mean, this is a lot of underclassmen on this defense. When a senior says that, that's going to catch your attention. You want to help him go out as a winner.
2nd and 8. Manning quick throw against man coverage. Intended for Flowers, looking for a flag. Going to be hard to get one on that sideline. Jackie Sherrill's worked those officials and has really made it tough for them to throw a ticky-tack foul.
Well, that time Corey Banks, the senior defensive corner, played that a lot better than they have played on the other side with the freshman Dockery. I think the key thing here for Manning is to be careful when he throws this ball, that do not get a turnover in the 4th quarter and give State some momentum. That's very,
and they're putting a lot of pressure on him. That time, there are 2 guys that hit him as soon as he released the ball. They're coming after him.
Yep. He's got to be careful to make sure the pass is where he wants it to go. If he can't get a completion, throw it away.
For the pattern, Rosano picked up the blitz. It's caught by SB, but Banks made the tackle shy of the first down. So Corey Banks comes up with a couple of big defensive plays. First cousin of Brad Banks of Iowa, right in the middle of the Heisman conversation. Wearing number 2 like Fred Smoot and Walt Harris did here at Mississippi State. He wore Corey Dillon's number at the same junior college that Dillon went to, Garden JC in Kansas. Banks is back to catch the punt. It comes from Cody Ridgway. Trying to pin him inside the 20. He's done that 13 times this year. Banks dropped it. Got it back at the 15. 31-yard unreturnable kick. 6.5 minutes to find out if Ole Miss will play more or the season will end.
Hey, we gotta get going. I'll put the hors d'oeuvres in the car. Just grab my brother's gift, okay? You forgot my brother's gift.
No, I didn't forget. It said Circuit City. We're gonna pick it up on the way. Forget. I didn't forget.
You forgot. That's why with Express Pickup, you can order gifts online and pick up within minutes. It's that fast. Circuit City, we're with you.
Wow, that was fast.
I have no idea.
What?
Life is full of difficult choices, and some not so difficult. When you purchase an elegantly redesigned mid-size 2003 Saturn L Series, you can choose $2,500 toward your down payment. Or get 0% financing, 0 down payment, and 0 payments for 90 days. Unfortunately, this not-so-difficult choice ends January 2nd. Purchase a 2003 Saturn L Series and get $2,500 toward down payment, or 0% APR, 0 down payment, and 0 monthly payment for 90 days. See participating retailer for restrictions.
Ice. One day you find you're up to your waist in it. If being in it buys one more day on top of it, fill up the tub. Fill up the tub.
Tonight on SportsCenter, Turkey Day traditions in Motown and Big D. The Mavs on pace for history. Turmoil in Tucson, is that history? Plus, what's on our Thanksgiving table? SportsCenter after the game on ESPN.
Square Books on the corner of the square in Oxford. That's when a John Grisham book comes out. The legendary writer is there for a first reading. What a neat, quaint old bookstore. If you ever come through Oxford, Mississippi, even if you get down to Memphis and you have a day to drive the hour on 55 and 6 here to Oxford, stop in there. It's one of those unique, special places. From the 16, another long field for Mississippi State. Fant got rid of it in time, incomplete. Mississippi State is asking for a flag on every play here. Ray Bivens was the intended receiver. Fant took a hit at the end.
Wait. Ray Bivens got behind Hutchins. This is one of those plays where, as a quarterback, you'd look at that. If you recognize it, you'd love to be able to go back to that. Blanchard, I think there was a mix-up in coverage there, and they had the right play called. It was just a matter of Kevin Fant looking up and seeing it. By the time he did, it was too late.
Also, he was rolling out and couldn't get his feet set fast enough.
Rear bails on the pressure. Fant throws and intercepted! Travis Johnson! First and goal, Ole Miss inside the 5. Second interception of the year for the redshirt freshman.
Now this time he's just going to step right in front of this. He must be reading the quarterback's eyes the whole way. Stepped in front of it, right in front of Darius Tubbs, and instinctively made a heck of an interception. That's the freshman, and we talked with Chuck Dreisbach, the defensive coordinator, said he's a special player. He sure looked good there.
Wonderful hands.
Oh, that was all hands.
Wonderful hands to catch that.
Tremayne Turner's the lone back. Here he goes. Just a yard there to the 4. For those of you who might just be joining us, David Cutcliffe's team needs to get a win here tonight to get to a bowl game. Probably the Independence Bowl, the mainstay Independence Bowl. Could be the Music City Bowl in Nashville, depending on who ends up where. But for a team that won 7 games last year and saw a 6-win Alabama team go to a bowl game and is undergoing a November meltdown for the 2nd straight year, you then understand the importance of getting 6 on this drive and making it a 2-possession game. Turner up the middle to the goal line and stopped shot. We are that close to it. Add the rivalry to the postseason storyline. And these are tense moments for all 60,000 here. A yard away from an 11-point lead. Manning keeps. Touchdown. Ole Miss. Well, the two Fant interceptions here in the second half have led to touchdowns. This one on a lot shorter field. Nichols' extra point is good. And they lead by a dozen inside of 5 minutes.
Turn your dollar into something tasty with a juicy Big and Tasty with fresh lettuce and tomato, the McChicken sandwich, or lots of your favorite foods for just $1 each. Every day on McDonald's Dollar Menu.
This Friday only, it's the Ace one-day sale. The Ace one-day sale, this Friday only at Ace.
All tires are on sale this Friday and Saturday starting at 6 a.m. only at Sears, America's #1 tire store. Sears, where else?
Yeah, they do want a bowl game bad here in Oxford. It's such a finality to this season. When they took the field, they either had 3.5 hours or 4.5 weeks of a season remaining. This kickoff's taken by Corey Banks. Oh, check that, Norwood. Beg your pardon. 12, not 2. And Jarius Norwood is taken down at the 28-yard line. The noises that you're hearing is hijinks going on as the cheerleaders were
scrapping.
Yeah, getting into it a little bit. Were they?
Cheerleaders are scrapping.
Well, the male cheerleaders, right?
Yeah.
This isn't like Tanya
cheerleaders.
Harding fighting. Did you see that? Tanya Harding's going to fight on the Mike Tyson card in Memphis.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's great.
That'll really help the sports image, huh?
Now, what Mississippi State's got to do here is got to go to the 2-minute drill. Even though there's 4 minutes to go, they've got to go to the 2-minute drill, no huddle, because they've got to get 2. They definitely got to go to the 2-minute drill here now.
Dozen points, field goal, touchdown, and a 2-point conversion don't do them any good. Fant's throw down the middle is caught by T. Millins, Freddie's younger brother, out near midfield.
Because not only does the opponent Ole Miss, it's the clock. And therefore, you've got to do everything in your power. And this is it. Good coaching by Mississippi State here to go to the 2-minute drill with 4 minutes to go.
You have to.
Well, some people might not do it, Kirk. Okay. These guys are well coached, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Out here at midfield, 4.5 to go in the ball game. Fant decided not to and was put on his back. The sack made by Mike Gibson, the 4th of the night for Ole Miss.
4th sack of the night, putting pressure on Kevin Fant. That's the thing when you get into 2 minutes, because there's some urgency on you as a quarterback, urgency on you as an offense. You're trying to make something happen. Sometimes you make something happen for the defense.
Fant throw coming back to the ball, but incomplete for Antonio Hargo. The sophomore could not hang on. We talked about Jackie Sherrill, and the conversations with the folks close to Mississippi State lead us to believe that despite the internet rumors and other rumors going around, Jackie Sherrill would be back to coach again next year. He's been at Mississippi State a dozen years, won 71 games, and really let the folks in Starkville know that they can play winning football. The question is, how do they get back to that status after what looks to be a winless 2002 season in the SEC? Third down, Fan. Argo hangs on that time. Will be shy of the first by a couple. They'll certainly go for it.
Yes.
Argo did not get out of bounds.
Number 25, Travis Johnson.
See the yellow lines, so they're going to need to get about 2.5 yards.
Most teams that use the spread have what they call a 4-hook. Everybody hooks about 5 yards on the field, and you pick out the one guy and drill it.
Well, the crossing routes look good here against that man coverage.
There's one underneath on the right and the left. The pass is incomplete. As the pressure came on fast, Hutchins was covering. Jesse Mitchell one more time brought the heat. 95 has been nothing short of fabulous tonight. I would suggest considering him when doling out the pie later tonight.
Why would you have to give my guy away?
I'm just suggesting.
You know what? We ought to give you a pie so you could give it to him.
No, it's your job.
That's right.
I'm just here to stir it up.
I want to say one thing about Jackie Sherrill before we go. This is an interesting stat. In 94 SEC games before Jackie got there, they won 22, lost 72. Since Jackie's been there, they've won 42, lost 51 and 7. Where in the world do they think they're going to get a better football coach in Mississippi State than Jackie Sherrill? I don't have any idea.
Tremayne Turner runs out to the 46-yard line.
I thought Jackie Sherrill made a good point to us, talking to us the other day about, you know, if anything, all this speculation has added fuel to my fire to want to come back and be a great coach to get this program back up to where it belongs. He said, I can kind of relate to what Joe Paterno's gone through the last couple years and how he's now been able to get Penn State back up. He said, I feel the same way, and I want to get Mississippi State back where they belong.
I'll give you another stat. This loss will give Jackie the worst season he's had since Washington State in 1976. The guy can coach football. Guaranteed it.
Eli stretches it out with Turner. Got to stay in bounds. Turner took a shot from Corey Banks. 2:15 to go. Only one timeout left for the Dogs, and there's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, I flat out asked Jackie during the pregame walk on here on the field. I said, any chance you will leave Mississippi State? He said, Doc, not whatsoever. None whatsoever. Said, we have a good class coming in. He said, I personally want to get involved in recruiting this next class. We can turn this thing around. We got some talented young players coming in. He said, I'm going to be more involved in the recruiting process, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm here next year and already thinking about next year's opener against Oregon, who comes to Starkville.
After they went to Starkville to start the season, a 36-13 win for the Ducks. 3rd and 5, pick this one up, and this one will be over. Turner got to midfield. Mississippi State should take its final timeout, and they do, with 1 minute and 31 seconds left in the season for Mississippi State and to a bowl game for Ole Miss. 6-6, the Rebels qualify for the final available Southeastern Conference Bowl berth. Gentlemen, are you ready to award?
Yes, I am.
The dessert?
Go ahead, Lee.
Oh, okay, 24-12. Going to get out of business here. Go ahead.
You will never guess who gets this. Jason Armstead.
Oh, you took my guy.
Jason Armstead, the punt return specialist. Let me have what he did.
Oh, you took my guy.
3 punt returns for 100 yards, 2 kickoffs for 49 yards. Jason Armstead. Now, listen to this now.
Yeah.
This is called a pecan.
Pecan pie.
Pecan pie.
It's kind of like Louisville. You got to snap your head when you say it.
Well, he's the only one who does that with the head. I was going to give it to Armstead with the surprise, and I can't double up. I'll go with Jesse Mitchell.
Good job.
Jesse Mitchell.
That's a good one.
He's playing hard. Their whole defense line.
Eli throws for 2, runs for 1, doesn't get a pie.
Not to.
Maybe that'll be his incentive to come back next year.
Could be.
To win the pie
But Mitchell
on the road.
and the whole Ole Miss defensive line, they've been in the backfield all game, so I'm going to go with Mitchell. They played well.
I was going to go with Mitchell if I didn't go with Armstead.
Yeah, I like
punt coming. Mississippi State going to try to block it. One of the things they need to try to do. No timeouts, down a dozen. Very good job by the punter, Ridgeway, to get it out of there. Banks, tough time handling it. They'll be pinned back inside the 15, down at the 12.
This is another pie.
What's the third?
Lee and I always give away the pies. Tonight, we're going to give you a pie.
What is this?
On behalf of Doc,
Doc,
Lee,
Jerry,
myself.
Arch,
What kind of pie is this?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Mississippi Mud Pie.
Mississippi Mud. Mississippi Fudge. Mississippi Fudge.
Why don't we give this to Eli then?
It's your call. It's your pie.
We'll give it to Eli.
Okay,
we'll
there you go.
To Eli Manning for
there you go.
his performance. 2 touchdown throws and 1 touchdown run here on the
Congratulations.
season. Eli, he got the pie from Tarico here tonight. The guys at the Downtown Grill, Allison and Dixie and Oxford Catering, Tori, made the pies tonight. Thank you, folks. Pass is caught. Sprinting and breaking into the secondary and a chance to take it to the house.
Give me my pie.
He's out of bounds at the 32. Remember, his brother Freddie went to Alabama, but Starkville is home for them. So it's crushing for Mississippi State, but they get the younger brother.
Well, you know, if they score this play, get an onside kick, I want my pie back.
No pie before it's time. Just remember that.
Oh, man. Can you believe we're...
Well, they're out of timeouts, and what hurt them was a timeout they took on a 3rd down in the third quarter, first drive.
And the equipment violation cost him the second time.
That's right. His chin strap was not on, and immediately that's a violation. Thus, a timeout is taken because the referee has to stop the game to get you off the field. Those are timeouts they'd love to have now. Oh, man, just got rid of it and saved about 15 seconds with the incomplete pass intended for Fred Reed. 65 seconds to go.
Tremayne Landrum from the outside that time, providing the pressure. And one of the things that Chuck Dreisbach has done is, I was talking about Jesse Mitchell, but they've rotated a lot of bodies up front to try to stay fresh, to try to keep that pressure consistent on Kevin Fant, and it's worked out well.
Landrum out of Detroit, went to Butler Junior College. 2nd and 10. Millens in motion. Fant steps and throws. It's caught by Jenkins. Justin gets it to the 19. First down. Clock stops. 58 seconds. Need to score in the next couple of plays to have a chance.
I need to get an onside kick.
It comes down.
If you score.
Yeah, but I'm saying, you know, if it takes them 7 plays to score, they're not going to have time after an onside kick with no timeouts.
That's true.
You got to score in the next couple of plays to have a chance. Fant looking long, deflected and intercepted. Matt Greer lost the football. Still free. Oh, who had possession last? Who had possession of the ball last? I believe Ole Miss did. Yes, they did. And Ole Miss will go bowling in 2002.
This is like all the turkey bowls today, all across the country, all the backyard football games today. There's a lot of this all over the country. Finally.
And I think your guy Jesse Mitchell was all the way down the field fighting for that ball. Just in there. He knew he was going to get the ball. And if he can get that, the pie.
The home team will win in this series yet again, continuing the tradition for the last 3 years. Kevin Fant will fall to 1-2 in this game. Eli Manning 1-1. We'll be on ESPN News for our post-game extra. Our entire crew spent Thanksgiving away from their family. To all of them, thank you. On behalf of them, to all of our families across the country, we wish we were with you folks, but there's no better place to be than sharing football and food with family and friends, and we had the chance to do it here in Oxford this year. They do not need to snap it again. Ole Miss will move to 6-6 and will play in either the mainstay Independence Bowl on Friday the 27th of December against the Big 12 team, or perhaps the Music City Bowl in Nashville. Mississippi State 0-8, winless in the SEC for the first time in 14 years. Lowest scoring Egg Bowl since 1995, and the Egg comes back to Oxford. We will see you on ESPN News in less than a minute. For Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit, Dr. Jerry Punch, I'm Mike Tirico. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Keyword, college football. Very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Good night from Oxford.